All right, we are live.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, everyone. We're going to be covering the news today. Look how excited people are for the news in the live chat.
Yes.
Secular rarity, like, woo. Okay, actually, Ghost Bunny is not that excited. You want to read this one?
Ghost Bunny is saying, I feel like tonight's news is going to be a string of bad news and varying degrees of crappiness. Well, okay, here's the thing. Tonight is going to be very interesting news, mostly centered around South Asia. And we get to have a lot of discussion about what is or is not Islamophobic, some political drama, and also some blasphemy. I think this is going to be very good news.
Okay, good. Okay.
Not everything that we support, but lots of opportunities for great discussion.
Music guy is saying, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to this channel, and ring the bell notification. Thank you so much. Yes, especially, yeah. By the way, guys, the bell notification is basically the same as the bell that you tap when you enter a Hindu temple. You know, that's basically our version of entering Atheist Republic. Um, and also D
That's
saying, hello,
hilarious.
new stuff. It is. Okay, let's go. It's news. Okay, cool. And people are confirming that the audio is good. All right, cool. So, should I share the? Oh, yeah, guys, make sure you like the video. You are not allowed to continue watching if you don't like the video. So, like the video, okay?
True.
All right. So, yes, let me
Also, wait,
share.
I want to celebrate the fact that something I don't remember became a member on the channel. Thank
Oh,
thank you for becoming a Satan's minion. Something I don't remember.
okay.
Guys,
So,
if you become a member on the Atheist Republic channel, not only are you supporting our work, but you get access to exclusive, hilarious, and blasphemous emojis. And you can come up and join Armin live during our Q&As, and you get priority in our live chat and during our Q&As as well.
okay, just
So
to clarify for the people who are listening to this and in a podcast, Susanna is not saying she doesn't remember something. That's just something I don't remember is the username of the person who just became the member. But yes, please become a member. So that yeah, we're gonna reach 100 members pretty soon. So that's good. All right. So
our
is that
goal is
good?
100 members.
100 members. Yes. Oh, Forever Stormy is also here on Twitch, reminding everybody that we're also live on Twitch. So can we clap for the first news?
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool. First news.
First news, Supreme Court leak. Religious leaders react to possible end of Roe versus Wade. On May 2nd, Politico published a leaked draft opinion from Associate Justice Samuel Alito that revealed how the Supreme Court plans to overturn the landmark Roe versus Wade decision that granted federal protection to abortion rights in 1973. Politico claimed that the draft, titled Opinion of the Court, written in February 2022, had circulated inside the Supreme Court before obtaining a copy. The Supreme Court verified the authenticity of the leaked documents and stated that the document, quote, did not represent the court's final view. Demonstrators from both pro choice and pro life camps flooded the steps of the US Supreme Court a day after the leak was published. This decision, if enacted by the Supreme Court, will dispel the federal protections on abortion and allow each state to create their own policies on abortion. According to the polls, an overwhelming majority of Americans support Roe v. Wade, including a majority of religious people, even Catholics. Meanwhile, Greg Laurie, the pastor of Harvest Christian Fellowship, and Franklin Graham, head of Billy Graham Evangelist Association, called the leaked draft a, quote, answered prayer.
Wait. Did you just say the majority of Catholics are against, like the ending Roe versus Wade? Wade.
Yeah, majority of Catholics support Roe versus Wade.
Why? How does that make any sense? If you're a Catholic, shouldn't you be anti-abortion? How does that work?
American Catholics are actually some of the most pro-choice Catholics in the world.
But how does that make any sense? Like, do they not know what they're supposed to believe?
I I definitely don't think that is the case. I I speculate that maybe they think that abortion should be a personal decision,
They're
or
not
that,
supposed to think.
or
They're
that the
Catholics. They're supposed to accept the
damn
commands
Armin.
of the. No, they're
Um,
supposed. They like they're not Protestants. They're not like free to decide what they think Jesus says. They have to take the orders from the Vatican. No, okay. I think they don't know how to Catholic.
yeah, or maybe many of them think that there shouldn't be a religious interference in the state. Like, just because I'm against abortion for myself personally as a Catholic, that doesn't mean that I think that the state should be involved in taking this away from other women.
There
Perhaps
you go.
perhaps that's the reasoning. I don't know what
Mhm.
the reason is for the majority of Catholics. I'm pretty sure there's been some studies on that. But anyways,
Mhm.
our Ghost Bunny is saying, Armin, don't question them. They might change their mind.
Well, it doesn't matter because apparently in the United States the will of the people is not that important.
Democratic institutions, who?
Okay, okay, but yeah, okay. You were gonna say?
Forever Stormy on Twitch is saying, guys, go follow us on Twitch. She's saying most people want to allow abortion in the first trimester and then ban it except under certain circumstances. That's a reasonable position. The extremists are the problem here. Yeah.
Okay, but how are religious leaders reacting? Like,
okay, well, let me pull up my sources. Actually, I figured out that my computer won't crap its pants if I do this on my laptop. So let me
because every time you do something else, how is your computer so crappy? But every time Susanna pulls like something and you look at something else, her computer crashes and we get robotic.
Yeah, so I'm like, I don't know why it took me this long to figure out. I can just look at something on a different screen over here.
Yeah.
It's kind of embarrassing, actually. Okay, so here are some other religious reactions to this. Dania Rutenberg, a rabbi and scholar at the National Council of Jewish Women, really started to emphasize the Jewish case for abortion justice. Another rabbi, Rick Jacobs, president of the Union for Reform Judaism, declared that they would fight for abortion rights, saying abortion justice is an economic issue, a racial justice issue, and yes, it's a Jewish issue. In Judaism, abortion is not just allowed, it is also mandated to preserve a pregnant person's life and well-being. We will fight for abortion rights with all our strength. Jamie Manson, head of Catholics for Choice, a Catholic abortion rights advocacy group, said the news is not shocking. We listened in December 1st to these arguments and we know the makeup of this court. We have 5 radically anti-choice Catholics on this court, so we weren't surprised. I have a few more reactions if you give me a second.
Okay, so I just want to say a few things, okay? This is completely a religious decision.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no denying that this has completely based on faith and based on the faith of the judges on the Supreme Court. Like, if anybody denies that, you're insane. Okay? That the conservative views of the judges, which is influenced by the religious faith, has been forced upon the people of America. This is, the fact that a lot of people some people still want to argue that no, these judges do not use their ideology to make decisions. Like, you have to be so blind to see how correlated their decision-making process of the judges is to how conservative or liberal they are, right? And this is not one of those cases that correlation does not prove causation, okay? Because there's literally no other explanation. There's literally no other causation that could cause this correlation, right? So given
this
that
is not philosophical. This is not a philosophical debate.
This is a religious debate.
When does life begin? which is something that no one has been able to come to a firm conclusion about.
Well, when does personhood begin? Right? That's the main
Yes.
question, I think. Yeah.
That's
I
a
mean,
better way of putting it.
Yeah. So given that it's based on their conservative views, because we can see that the way that people like, they're not. I'm not just talking about the conservative judges. Both the liberal and conservative ones, they're not objective.
No.
Okay, if they were objective, they wouldn't be. The Republicans and Democrats wouldn't be fighting so much to get their conservative or liberal judges under. Like, we know that their ideology matters. Okay, and the conservative judges, their conservatism comes from their religion. So this is religion being forced upon. So this is a violation of United States secularism. Okay, so
the
there's
majority of the justices on the Supreme Court right now were elected by presidents that did not win the majority vote.
Oh wow, okay.
Trump
Also, by the way,
by Trump and Bush, they did not win the majority of the vote. They were elected through, like the technicalities of the Electoral College.
Yes, and also, if you didn't vote for Hillary because you hated her and you thought all sides are bad, right? Like, look what you've done. Look at what you've done. Like, seriously, you should be ashamed if you didn't vote for Hillary. You're responsible for this. Any American who thought like they're all bad, oh, Hillary and Trump, it doesn't make any difference. Well, apparently it does. And now women in America, especially poor women, are going to suffer partly because of you, and because of you being a moron and not actually paying attention to how things work. So anybody who could have voted for Hillary and didn't, you should be ashamed right now.
Like, it is a direct consequence. It is 100% a direct consequence. It like, that's not debatable. So one thing I wanted to point out, in terms of this whole being explicitly a religious debate, and we should stop pretending otherwise, is so Andrew Seidel, who is a constitutional lawyer and a lawyer at the Freedom from Religion Foundation, wrote a wonderful article in Religion Dispatches titled "The End of Roe and School Prayer. America is not ready to be a Christian nation." And in it, he says, for a brief, clear moment during the oral argument for the very case that this draft opinion decides, Dobbs versus Jackson Women Health Organization, Justice Sotomayor cut through all the pretense built up around this issue and asked Mississippi, how is your interest anything but a religious view? The state fumbled for an answer. So, and then, yeah, that was like the only time in these proceedings that was actually named as such. And then he continues, if you want a clear connection between church-state separation and reproductive justice, a few days ago, Marjorie Taylor Greene claimed that Satan's whispers are what leads to abortion.
Of course. Thank you, Satan. Wait, was it also another thing, another FU? Wasn't it Ruth Bader Ginsburg who just decided to just stay and not until she died?
Yeah, even though she had cancer multiple times before.
Yeah, like, what's up with that? Like, wouldn't she be in hell right now if there was a hell? Like, why did she just...
She was a good woman. That was just a really poor decision.
No, well, this ruined everything. Like, this ruined her legacy. Like, screw you, lady, who's dead, who can't hear me. Like, I wish I could swear because YouTube doesn't let me swear. Why did she stay? Like, okay, so she stayed on instead of stepping down so Obama could pick her replacement, and she died during Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't she know that, like, she had cancer? She must have known that there's a high chance she's going to die during Trump time. Why didn't she step down during Obama's time? I don't understand. Can somebody explain?
People tried to get her to step down. I don't know. That's like the
Why
whole
didn't
backstory
she?
and question that I'm not familiar with that whole saga.
No, like seriously, like she came to the she did everything she does, like partially started because she was a women's right activist, right? Well, you screwed you died at the wrong time, and you screwed women for many years, Ruth. I hope for your sake there's no hell.
Well, okay, what she did wasn't technically a sin. Okay, so she wouldn't be in hell.
Well,
Maybe
it
a few for
should be
other
a sin.
things.
It should be a sin if
Yeah,
there
this
was a
is
sin.
definitely like complicated her legacy greatly. I think one thing that needs to be noted is that this was a draft opinion, so the final opinion might change. Now, the likelihood of that happening is slim. But you know, like the final opinion isn't expected to come out in June or July. So we don't know for a fact that this is what's going to happen. Um, but it's highly likely. So it's not good at all. It's horrible. Um, I want to make it clear that if this does happen, if Roe v. Wade is overturned, it will not ban abortion federally. It does not mean that no women in America will have rights to an
No, it
abortion
just
or
lets the
access to an
states ban.
abortion.
It just lets the states ban it now.
Yeah, it just means that some women will not have access to this.
Many women.
Yeah, no, it's some as
Yeah.
opposed to all, not
Yeah.
some as in few. Um, and this is a huge issue because it relegates the rights that are available to you depending on, you know, what state you live in. And this southern and midwestern states are looking increasingly almost theocratic, and I really worry about the
Handmaid's Tale.
safety of women who are there. I mean, some of the bills that they're putting forward are absolutely insane, like, you know, death penalties for getting abortion, making Plan B illegal.
Okay, but
Like,
those bills were not
just
approved just for the case, for the sake, you know, for transparency. Like,
I know, but it just speaks to the attitudes.
yes.
And if Roe v. Wade is overturned, then the rights that are available to any person living in that state will immediately revert back to what the state has on the books, and some of them are extremely severe. And other states, you'll be fine. You'll be completely protected. Like California, like nothing's going to change. It'll be fine, but it'll just, I don't know. I had when this happened, when this leak came out a few days ago, like I just didn't even have a reaction. You know, when something like is so huge and it hits you so hard, you like just have no reaction. That's how I felt.
Okay, yeah, go on. Too interesting.
Secular Sakai is saying time to create term limits for the Supreme Court.
Also this one.
And D. Boudreaux is saying pro-life people asking for the death penalty. Yeah, some of them. Some pro-life people are like actually consistently against the death penalty. But anyways, so I was listening to Andrew Seidel talk about this, and you guys can go check out what he has to say on his YouTube channel because he's extremely well versed in these issues and also very good at speaking about it. And he was basically talking about how the only solution to this problem is we have to expand the courts. We have to expand the courts. We have to pack the courts. We have no other option besides living under minority rule, because not only are opinions like this supported by a minority of Americans, but the court itself is vastly overrepresented by Catholics. There's a huge overrepresentation of Catholics on the Supreme Court. Catholics are a minority in the United States. So they're allowed to push forward their own agenda that is explicitly religiously informed. For many of them, some have different stances on it depending on their background. Bulbul is saying this can also lead to appeal of other rights like same-sex marriage that's not deeply rooted in American history. Yeah, so this is a bigger issue because based on what was seen in the draft opinion by Alito, it overturns a lot of prior precedent. And a lot of that precedent has to do with like massaging. That's not the way I want to say it, but adapting the Constitution to fit an increasingly modernizing America, right? And their own interpretation of the right to privacy. And this right to privacy was used to justify removing it being illegal to have anal sex, for example, like removing, homophobic anti-sodomy laws was under this. The right to privacy is also how we secured same-sex marriage in America. So if this is the precedent and this is their reasoning and understanding for getting rid of this, then they can also use that same reasoning to get rid of these other things.
So can I say it? Okay, maybe in a easy way to understand. Tell me if I'm correct about this. Okay, so there's nothing in the Constitution that says that you cannot ban, I don't know, anal sex or same-sex marriages, or I don't know, abortion or anything like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, the people who try to argue that the Constitution doesn't allow you to ban these, they say that the Constitution gives you the right to privacy, and because the right to privacy means that you cannot ban these things. So that's how previously the Supreme Court judges try to make it so that these are not bannable. Okay, so that's why basically okay. So however, now they're arguing that there's nothing in the Constitution that so explicitly gives you this right to privacy.
They say abortion is not mentioned anywhere in the Constitution.
Yeah, but also this level of privacy is not. You're like making a leap, like you're interpreting it in such a way that gives you this level of privacy. You have to massage the Constitution to get that out of it, and because you have to play around with the Constitution to get that right of privacy, and it's not explicit. Therefore, all of these conclusions could be void. Okay. However, you know what I say to that? I say, you know what else is not mentioned in the Constitution, and you have to like play around with it and come up with gymnastic arguments to come up with interpretations to get something out of it that is not in the Constitution. Do you know what else is there, Susanna? That the judges came with the conclusion that the Constitution demands that, but it doesn't explicitly demand it.
I don't know.
The Supreme Court. The Supreme Court. Okay, so let's use a Uno reverse card. Let's like use his own argument against them. Like, okay,
no, you
are not in the Constitution either. Nothing that you do, your entire institution and all your responsibilities is not in the goddamn Constitution. So I don't know. Is that not a way that we could go at them? I don't know.
I don't think that would work in oral argument. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer.
I don't know. Let's ask Andrew Sardell. Like, hey, these people are trying to throw away. I don't know how
long the justices would take to. You are illegitimate, Your Honor.
Based on your own argument, your entire institution is not necessary. I don't know. I guess so.
Bubble is making a good comment saying, I feel like conservatives read the constitutions like Salafis read the Quran, meaning literally. Liberals read it like progressive Muslims, trying to find arguments in the text and make up rights. That's a little bit of a generalization, but basically you're right. I was reading a really interesting article by Religion Dispatches and said that legal scholars have found that belief that the Bible is literally true helps predict adherence to constitutional originalism, the politicized philosophy that maintains that the Constitution should be interpreted according to its original meaning. While the present connection may be unsurprising, the long history of this ideological pairing is too often ignored. So I read this like full article about how especially really right-wing evangelicals have historically pushed for this originalist constitutional uh, lens or dissection. Secularity saying use, know what else isn't technically in the Constitution? Freedom of speech. We had to have an amendment. Like right after it was written, they were like, oh, forgot a couple things. That's literally what the Bill of Rights is.
Right. But here's the most important comment, I think, for today.
Aw, Bubble is saying, this makes me feel like I have no right over my own body. Well,
Yeah.
damn. Yeah, I mean, I get what you mean. It's really scary to think that, like, if I moved to a different state and I became pregnant, like, I wouldn't have so many. Yeah, I wouldn't have choices available to me. I'd be forced to give birth, whether or not it was, highly dangerous for me medically. Secular Sakai, biblical literalism. This is the stance of the crazy Constitution Party, the forgotten fifth largest party of the United States. Oh my God. Okay, yeah, well, I didn't know that either. The fifth largest? One thing that is a little bit different topic, but I think is important to discuss is like the impact that this leak is going to have on the court. Like, I don't know. I actually think it's a really bad thing that this leak happened. I think it's a really bad thing. I think it breaks the standards and confidentiality of the court, which is going to shatter the Supreme Court's relation of the justices and their clerks and their, different teams. They have to have a working relationship. They have to be able to work through these decisions together. And the fact that this is leaked is going to have serious consequences on like the culture and standards within the Supreme Court. This is the first time that this has happened on this scale in the court's modern history, right? And also, if there are adjustments to this decision, people are now just going to say that they were all politically motivated because of the reaction to this draft being leaked.
So they're not going to make any change.
Serious consequences.
So some people are suggesting the leak makes it impossible now for the judges. We don't know any of this. We don't know. Like, this is just guessing because, and I don't know if this is valid or not. But yeah, so based on what Susanna said, the judges maybe are not able to change it at all anymore because the most minor changes would be scrutinized as giving into popular demand.
It completely questions the legitimacy of the court at every level.
Well, I mean, okay. Anyways, fix your constitution, United States. Like, people like keeps acting like this constitution is like the word of God and you can't change it. It's obviously flawed if it doesn't protect
what do you want to what do you want to fix about it?
Something that a constitution that covers more basic human rights.
Oh, okay. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I like that too. The United States Constitution is one of the most difficult constitutions to amend in the world.
Well, that's a problem. It needs to be amended. It's flawed. It's not complete. Obviously, it doesn't cover some basic human, like,
it has to be
times change.
Times new situations and new
the world is progressing. The world is progressing, and we're adding to the list of basic human rights that we want covered. So your constitution needs to be able to adjust itself more easily than this. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna go here.
It's complicated. Anyways, we'll see how this pans out. I donated a bunch of money to the Freedom from Religion Foundation because they are deeply involved in actually making arguments before the Supreme Court on rights like this, and preparing primers and prima facies, whatever, all this stuff. They're deeply involved in fighting for your rights, even if you're not a secular person. So I donated money to them. American Atheists also was involved with this case and with preparing a lot of these materials as well. So, FFRF, fantastic organization. Do your own research and consider donating if you like, because they're literally at the forefront of preserving secularism in the United States. They do it unlike any other group or organization. So
Good. Okay, cool. Can we clap for our next news? Oh wait.
Yeah, we can. This is like insane Pakistani political drama that blew my mind.
Okay, good. Next news.
Former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan faced with blasphemy charges.
Wow.
Like, if you've been following this channel for a while, you know how huge this is.
Oh no.
I sent this to Armin like, this is crazy. So the Pakistani political drama has reached a new peak. Let's get into it. On May 1st, Pakistan's recently ousted Prime Minister, Imran Khan, was booked with blasphemy charges along with 150 others, including Khan's top political allies. In early April, Khan was removed from office after the parliament gave Khan a decisive vote on a no-confidence motion, sparking mass protests from his supporters. The blasphemy charges were filed by Muhammad Naeem, a citizen of the city of Faisalabad. The complaint filed by Naeem is linked to a group of Pakistani pilgrims in Medina who protested the new Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif's arrival in Saudi Arabia. During this protest in the Holy City, Prime Minister Sharif was called a thief and a traitor, and other, quote, explicit language was used. Khan and his party, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, or PTI, stand accused of purposefully organizing this protest in the sacred city of Medina, and that the hooliganism that followed offended the sentiments of Muslims, and even worse, desecrated the Masjid-e-Nabawi. Nabwi, Masjid-e-Nabi. Almost a Navabi. A mosque that was supposedly built by the Prophet Muhammad. Maryam Aurangzeb, the new information minister, accused Khan of using the mosque for his political agenda. Khan dismissed the allegations and claimed that he could not imagine asking anyone to disrespect a sacred place. Quote, I cannot think of asking anyone to do sloganeering at that sacred place. He explained that, quote, no one who loves the prophet could even think of it. In Pakistan, blasphemy is punishable by up to 10 years in prison, life imprisonment, or even the death penalty.
Wait, so his Imran Khan's position was in Medina, and some people protested, and the protest led to people using slurs and some destruction. Look, what else did they do? They did some bad things, and now people are saying Imran Khan was responsible for that, and therefore, because he's responsible for that, this is blasphemy. Am I getting this right?
Yes.
Okay.
It wasn't the blasphemy is just seems to be like the fact that like general unrest was caused in the holy city.
So somebody with the username Pakistani Communist in the live chat is saying, Armin, Imran Khan sent people to the protest. Do we know if Imran Khan sent people to the protest?
No, he denies it.
He denies it. How do we know? Is this a footage of the protest?
I think
Can
so.
we play it? Wait, you guys don't have audio. The audio is great. Hold on. Let me know if you have audio. Wait, is this right next to the? Oh my God, it is. Oh, the mosque you were mentioning. You meant Nabi. Is this the main mosque in Medina?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can tell by these like Okay, I think okay, guys, this is the second most sacred place in the whole Islamic world.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you're
Sorry,
not
I
allowed.
can't pronounce these names at all.
Okay. Like this is it's Mecca. Okay, the Kaaba area number one, and second is this. Unless you're a Shia, which is then it makes it Karbala above everything else. But no, but this is okay. So I can't believe they use like swear words right next to the mosque of the Prophet.
Well, I can't understand what they're saying, but that's what's reported, right?
Huh.
Or it's like they're all kind of offended that the fact that there was like this unrest in general, that there was such a commotion in this really holy site in general.
Okay, do you think they pulled his hair? Did they pull his hair?
Whose hair?
Well, what was the other guy's name? It was Sharif, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was like present there. I don't think he was in the crowd. I don't know.
Do
I
you
didn't
think
see
they pulled
anything
his hair?
reporting that.
Mm.
Like that's assault. Like they would, I don't know. I believe I probably would have been reported that he was assaulted.
How is this black? Okay, so this is insane. Okay, for people to be like this, like acting like this right next to the mosque of the Prophet, which he's buried there, by the way. But how is this blasphemy? I thought blasphemy, like,
Because this
yeah.
behavior offended the beliefs of the sentiments of Muslims. It offended Muslims and it desecrated the masjid. It desecrated the holy site.
Wouldn't so blasphemy is now every time I don't like something? I don't know. I
Well,
think like if you
obviously, it's
unless
been that way for a long time. What are you talking about?
I
That's the
mean it's
most
not like
obvious thing.
no, I mean I mean they didn't okay, so it's pretty like based on Islamic standards, that's pretty disrespectful to the Prophet Muhammad and blah 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 and all that nonsense. But it's not blasphemy. Like they didn't blaspheme Muhammad. They didn't blaspheme. Like they didn't. Yeah, so I don't know how this is blasphemy. Okay, so apparently everything disrespectful you do, if it has a religious nature, apparently now it's called blasphemy. Okay, sure.
Yeah, no, and these charges were defended by several government officials, and like they were confirmed. Now, how this will go forward, I don't know. Like, I will Imran Khan face the death penalty for blasphemy? No, I don't think so. I don't think they're gonna go anywhere that close. Okay,
I mean,
but
technically, given that, I mean, technically, based on Pakistani standards, this is blasphemy because in Pakistan they just throw out the blasphemy accusations like over everything, like just like
they killed
oh
a man. They lynched a man in the street over taking a sticker off a piece of machinery that had the prophet's name.
yeah. So if there's like a prophet name and you just like it's a sticker, you better leave the sticker there for the end till the end of time. That wall will have that sticker because if if you remove it, a mob will show up and beat you to death. Okay, so
Literally.
yeah, literally, like we're not
Isn't that kind
exaggerating.
of idolatry?
This
Doesn't that
happened.
seem a little shirky to like
Shirky, yeah.
treat just as something like they're treating the name of the prophet like its own idol? I feel. What do you think? That
Oh
just
my god. Yeah,
that
you
thought
should.
just occurred to me.
Okay, you're completely right, but don't tell them that because now they're gonna go kill all the people that killed the man. Like it's gonna be like all the way. It's just gonna be
Oh my
the
god.
it's going to be blasphemy accusations left and right. I accuse you of blasphemy for accusing that man of blasphemy because you just committed adultery over the name of Muhammad. So you're a blasphemous. Now we have to kill you. Yeah, but I don't know. It's
So
crazy.
crazy.
In Pakistan is it's going.
But the fact
But
that it's being used in this political manner is like that's like on a different level for Pakistan. Like even that is on a different level for Pakistan. I saw a bunch of people writing about this saying like, oh, the way that this is politicized is, so crazy. The blasphemy law in Pakistan, everything about blasphemy in Pakistan is politicized. Everything about it. It just using it so brazenly against a political opponent is like pretty wild. I think that's what's unprecedented. But yeah, this is obviously one of the most politicized issues in Pakistan. Period.
Wait.
Adam Rickster is saying Muslims treating Muhammad like a god. Shocking.
No, not Muhammad. Momo. I have to read the.
Oh
Momo.
my god. Yeah, I guess
Okay.
maybe my thought isn't as original as I would have. Pakistani communists is saying, Armin, it isn't genuine blasphemy charge. The new government must use this blasphemy law to discredit Imran Khan. Otherwise, he will come and cause ruin.
So he's saying this is not actually, people know that this is not real blasphemy, but they need it. But yeah, they needed to remove him.
I think that's a good point.
It's a good point, but it's against the will of the people. I mean, do you want to we are
undemocratic.
It's undemocratic, yes. Like, I'm also against Imran Khan, but I'm also for democracy. So if Imran Khan is the will of the Pakistani people, that's how it is. Like, I don't know. Like, you have bigger problems that you need to solve. You can't just like force it upon the people, right? Oh, here, what is this? Malik is giving us new information here.
He's saying for going forward, the courts ordered the police to take back the FIR. That's the police report, and remove the blasphemy charges. Is that true?
Oh, okay.
Let me see.
Is that true?
Google that really quickly.
As of for the courts ordered the police to take back.
Is that the latest update? Imran Khan.
Wait, how can we take back the FIRs against us in India? Is that how did they do that?
We can't. The courts can.
We have, for people who don't know, we have me and Susanna also have FIRs filed against us for drawing Hindu goddesses.
Okay. I'm not seeing anything about it being revoked. Maybe that happened like very recently and it hasn't been translated into English speaking news yet, but I can't find that anywhere.
Okay.
Man, people have written to the UN to protest the misuse of blasphemy laws against Khan. Holy cow.
Oh, okay. You know what? We should use this on Islamophobia Day with Imran Khan, who Imran Khan managed to establish. Every year on Islamophobia Day, we remind people how Islamophobic Imran Khan was for doing
on the day that he founded.
On the day that he founded, he got it recognized by the United Nations. Will remind people that he did this. He caused this event next to the Mosque of the Holy Prophet.
Oh, here it is. Former Human Rights Minister and PTI, that's Khan's political party, core committee member Shireen Mazari has written to special rapporteurs to the United Nations calling for their intervention to cease the Pakistani government's, quote, misuse of the blasphemy law against Imran Khan and senior PTI members. Okay, this is rich coming from Shireen Mazari because she is one of the worst. She's so bad when it comes to whitewashing Islam and being an apologist for the severe abuses that happen to Pakistani minorities because of Islamist ideology. She's such a crazy, and even regarding like the blasphemy issues, like whitewashing everything, like that's okay, Shireen. Like,
you know what? You have to be Imran Khan for people to say that the blasphemy accusation, this many people to come in your defense and say blasphemy cases have been misused. Really now? What about all the other people that are on death row or have been killed by a mob because of blasphemy accusations? Where are all these people who now are saying, oh, blasphemy accusations are being misused? Did this many people spoke in their defense or any of their defense? Like, did they also spoke out for them? I bet you a lot of these people, I will bet that a lot of these people are like, oh, you're overdoing it with blasphemy accusations. A lot of them were the same people that would be first in line against the people that were so based on nothing, based
they
on
make
just
excuses
false
when
accusations.
It happens to minorities.
Yes,
they make excuses.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, including Imran Khan himself, by the way,
Yeah.
who actually added to the oppression of people, including the Ahmadis, instead of fighting against it. Mother. Okay. Anyways, can we clap for the next news?
Wait, I want to Google something real quick. Shireen Mazari, man, I can't stand this woman. She has some crazy quotes. I
Well,
don't
you
know.
forget her. You
Yeah,
forget her.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go do some research later. Um, okay, this isn't the title isn't good, but overall,
Okay.
actually not the worst.
Okay. Title isn't good, but it ends up being good. Okay. So next news.
Next news: Indian ex-Muslim nearly killed by brother after denouncing Islam. On May 1st, police from Kerala, India, filed the police report for the attempted murder of 24-year-old ex-Muslim Ashkar Ali, who was attacked by a group of men that included his brother. Ashkar had long been a student of Islam and had completed a 12-year advanced Islamic religious study program. Upon completion of his studies, he decided to leave Islam, a decision that his family did not support. He was an invited speaker at a conference held by Essence Global, an organization promoting, quote, scientific temper, humanism, and the spirit of inquiry and reform in society. According to Ali's statement to the police, a group of men tried to prevent him from speaking at the conference. The group physically assaulted him, destroyed his phone, and attempted to kidnap him. He was rescued by the police when locals raised the alarm about the attack. Ashkar completed his speech at the conference under the protection of the local police. A recording of the speech, which details his, quote, path to humanism and his criticism of Islam as, quote, the real fascism, has already gained mass attention in India, accruing nearly 1 million views in less than a week. So this was a huge story that came out in South India this past week. And particularly, this was blowing up in the Indian ex-Muslim community. The ex-Muslim community in South India is like one of the strongest in the country. It's a very big and organized community in that area. And yeah, everyone I know from that community and from those areas was just talking about this. This was a huge deal.
Is this man safe in India with all, I don't know, like, does he have to just live the rest of his life now looking over his shoulder?
So according to the reports, he has not like pursued additional protection.
Okay. Well, good luck. Okay. I don't know what to say. That's crazy. You sent me a video.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm gonna. Which one should I share? The Facebook one or YouTube one? I haven't made a decision of him speaking because he speaks very passionately.
Yeah, let's do the Facebook one because at least there are like some English captions in it. Okay, so here's the thing. I desperately want to watch this guy's speech. Okay, so Essence Global, actually, no, it was a different YouTube channel. But if you Google like Essence Global Ashkar Ali, like you will find his hour-long speech. I desperately want to watch this speech, but it's in Malayalam. And I thought like an hour is a long time for someone to translate that and put captions on it. But in this, he throws in English phrases sometimes when he speaks. But
Forever Stormy saying he's safe in the state that he is.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. All right. I'm gonna play the video. You wanted to add something before I play it?
So in this clip and in this video, he's basically talking about how like his beliefs and why Islam is a form of fascism and what he learned in his Islamic studies, as well as how he like pursued like an advanced degree in sociology and how this degree taught him about how Islam is fundamentally undemocratic and like against our democratic ideals and values. yeah, just in general, his speech is about like some sexual harassment experiences he had in his Islamic institution and his like more rational approach after his experience in Islam. And I think he is going to be a major ex-Muslim speaker and figure in India going forward. Like, I can't even understand what he's saying, and I'm compelled by the way that he speaks. Like, I feel like I can just tell, like, from whatever people who can understand him and understand the language he speaks, they're like, he's very articulate, a very erudite speaker, like, and a very powerful speaker. So I think this video that of his speech was posted like 5 days ago. It already is at over 700,000 views. So,
but with including this, because on YouTube, he has 700,000, but it's also being shared in so many other places and viewed in other formats as well, right? Like, for example, okay, this is the Facebook version, 1 minute of it. Okay, so hold on. I just want you to pay. You had audio? So given that most people, even in people in India, are not going to understand this, a lot of people, because it's a specific language, right? But we're just gonna play it just so that you can see the passion and in his voice.
Not the whole thing. Like,
what?
Just do like 30 seconds, 45 seconds.
Okay.
Islam as it is the real fascism. I am very sure about it. I am very clear. I mean, എന്റെ കൂടെ ജനിച്ച ഒരുത്തൻ അവൻ സോഷ്യോളജിയിൽ എം എടുക്കുമ്പോ എന്റെ പണി എന്തായിരുന്നു ഈ ശൈശവിവാഹത്തിന് കുട്ടിയടിക്കാൻ വിളിക്കുക. യു നോ, ഐ വാസ് റിയലി ഷോക്ക്ഡ്. എന്റെ കൂടെ ജനിച്ചവൻ അവൻ സിവിൽ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ഒക്കെ പഠിക്കുമ്പോ എന്റെ പണി ഇതാണ്, ഈ പല്ലി എങ്ങനെ അടിച്ചു കൊല്ലാന്ന് പഠിക്കുക. ബ്ലഡി ലോക്ക്ഡ്. കൂട്ടമായി വന്ന് ആക്രമിച്ചാലും പ്രശ്നമില്ല, ഒറ്റപ്പെടുത്തിയാലും പ്രശ്നമില്ല, തല വെട്ടിക്കളഞ്ഞാലും പ്രശ്നമില്ല. ദാറ്റ്സ് മൈ സിമ്പിൾ പോളിസി. എന്റെ ജെനുവിനായ ചോദ്യമാണ്, ഇവിടെ ഒരു വർഗീയവാദിക്കും ഒരു മതതീവ്രവാദിക്കും ഒരു സ്പേസുമില്ല എന്ന് വേദികൾ.
Okay, somebody needs to turn this into a soundtrack. I think it can be done. No? That sounds
like an
pretty epic.
An auto-tune. I can't talk today. An auto-tuned song.
Yeah. I think it could be like an ex-Muslim anthem or something. I don't know.
I am begging someone to please translate this speech. If anyone adds caption to this, like with the permission of Essence Global, like we will caption and put this on Atheist Republic. Yeah, because I like this guy. I like this guy. I think.
Can we get it? Secular Rarity saying we should get him on the show. Do you think we could get him on the show?
I bet I could find him. So I am friends on Facebook with a few months ago we talked about this ex-Muslim from the same region named Anish, and how the police took action against him, like preempt him, supposedly from the pressure of Islamist groups. They took action against him for some Facebook posts he had criticizing Islam, and he possibly faced like blasphemy charges and stuff. So I have a connection to him, and he seems like he has a connection to Ashkar, so it's a possibility.
Okay, so here's another thing. We have to try to encourage as much as possible to the ex-Muslim community in India not to give in to Hindutva support, not to like accept Hindutva support, because that will destroy their movement. What do you think?
I agree. Obviously I agree. I don't, from people I know, they report that they're not really inclined to do that already because they face a lot of discrimination because of their like the name that they have itself. Like they have a Muslim name, they come from a Muslim background, so even though they don't believe, they face a lot of discrimination because of it. So of course there are some that do, or there are ex-Muslims who are actual Hindutva, right? But people report to me, and again, it is anecdotal. I don't have studies that.
So here's what I think is happening. I think a lot of ex-Muslims who left Islam will still notice that Hindutva doesn't care that you left Islam. You're still to them you're still a Muslim because you come from the community, But
They-
if you, just a second, please. But if you are outspoken, okay, so we have ex-Muslims, but we also have ex-Muslims who are very outspoken against Islam. Okay, the vast majority of ex-Muslims just leave Islam, but they're not activists, right? But I think Hindutva, even though a lot of them would be this discriminatory against ex-Muslims, they will make an exception, some of them, for an ex-Muslim who is taking a stance against Islam. We're like, oh, here's a token ex-Muslim that we could celebrate because of how anti-Islamic he is. You know what I mean? As
well,
like
yeah,
a
you've gone through
special.
that experience.
Yes, I've gone through, and I have, and I came through the other end fighting Hindutva. But I want to tell ex-Muslims in India that if they're fighting the fascism of Islam, do not do so by defending the fascism of Hindutva. Yeah.
Very
So
well
that's what
put. Very well put.
Yeah. But anyways,
Very well put. Yeah.
You wanted to add something? Oh, here, somebody, ABC saying that's why a lot of ex-Muslims joins hand with Hindutva, because they are the only one who can protect these people. They're not
Unfortunately, that can
protecting
be
you.
true.
Yeah, but they're not protecting you. They're using you. Okay, okay. As an ex-Muslim, you're facing discrimination. Okay, Hindutva is also discriminating a whole bunch of people. Okay, so don't use your experience of discrimination as an excuse to support another group that is discriminating another group of people. Your experience of oppression or discrimination should encourage you to stand up against all forms of discrimination, not just against the group that you belong to. Yeah.
I think,
Anyway.
Critics of Islam in India in general, but ex-Muslims in India face the particular issue of the many other ex-Muslims you've experienced, like left-wing appeasement to Islam. And the only people willing to talk with them, or the only people willing to platform them, are right-wing people, because the left wing thinks that you are attacking minorities. So they face that same issue. So ex-Muslims, activists in general, have to make very calculated, like, cost-benefit analyses about who they're working with. Like, Armin, you yourself have worked with or been platformed by right-wing people because they were the ones who would take you. But you were responsible with that and made that an opportunity to criticize them as well.
Exactly. Okay, so here's the thing. If you're an ex-Muslim and you're in India, okay, and you're an activist against Islam, in the West, a couple of years ago, a lot of us ex-Muslims went through the same kind of situation, right? Back at the time where criticizing Islam was very, very taboo. Right now it's more accepted, but back then it was gross and racist, right? As some people say, considered gross and racist. But we and a whole bunch of ex-Muslims spoke against Islam, and we were, demonized. Almost lost everything that we have, and but we came back and we survived. But at that time, right-leaning people, especially people that had promoted bigoted ideology against minorities, including Muslims, like they weren't anti-Islam, they were anti-Muslim, right? They were the only people who were willing to highlight our cause, right? So some ex-Muslims gave into that and went that way, and it hurt the movement. The entirety of the ex-Muslim movement was seen and described as, by so many people, as a cover for bigotry. And it really was hard to recover from that image that people had from the ex-Muslim movement. So be careful not to go that route, because we know we have that experience. However, like Susanna said, that it doesn't mean that you don't have to accept their platforming. Just take a jab at their ideology while you do so, right? So, for example, I was platformed by right-leaning, news, news platforms and other podcasts and hosts of YouTube channels and stuff like that. And they expect me to come there and tell you how evil Islam is, right? And then be like, oh, look, this is a person from the community. Islam is evil. You hear it from themselves. It's not we're saying it, it's them saying it, right? So they love to highlight that, right? But every time I go there, I also I take a jab at their holy cows, which is Christianity and conservatism, right? And I also say I mentioned that we're against all religions, including Christianity. And I mentioned a couple of examples of why Christianity is barbaric as well. And I also mentioned on air on their show how much Islam shouldn't be used as a way to attack Muslims as a whole and generalize Muslims, or to demonize Muslims. And also I mentioned on their platform that the best way to attack Islam is to befriend Muslims instead of ostracizing them, instead of demonizing them, instead of otherizing them. If you want to attack Islam, you have to befriend and get close to the people who have those ideas. You're not going to change their mind by attacking them. In fact, you're going to strengthen the ideology and even radicalize it extra by attacking the people. So even if you're not a humanist enough to just want to be good to people because they're people, right? Even if your entire agenda is to weaken Islam, even by that agenda, the best strategy is to treat them well, include them in society, accept them as as one of you, and treat them well so that your ideas, better ideas, enlightenment values, can compete with their Islamic ideas. Because by attacking them, all you're doing is isolating them and pushing them back into that Islamic community as their only source of refuge, and also, because of their oppression, radicalizing them against you. Anyways, I think I spoke too much.
No, I think these are all words of wisdom.
No,
good words of wisdom.
Well, I appreciate that. Okay. Talking about far-right loons, I see that we are seeing one of them on the cover of the next news. I know this guy. So
True.
Oh, secularity. Thank you so much for that. Oh, what? Okay, so what is this? Okay, so okay, I don't. Okay, so I'm gonna rain in your parade. Okay, so Pakistani communists.
This comment made me laugh too.
Okay, I'm gonna. I'm so sorry. Okay, so Pakistani communists in the live chat say, I'm sorry about what I'm about to do. Okay, Pakistani communists in the live chat saying Armin is becoming a hero for atheists and socialists in Pakistan. Some of my friends are now listening to Armin.
And they also said that you're an inspiration to the Pakistani communists and atheists, and that they love me too.
Oh, I am very appreciative of your love and support.
No,
but
don't discourage them. Don't discourage them.
I am about to. Do they know that I'm a capitalist? That I'm such a strong supporter of capitalism? Do they know that?
Know.
Okay. Let me
Here's
just
the deal. They can still be a communist and really appreciate what you have to say.
Okay, if they're able to do that, I appreciate that, because I am very much against communism. However, there are many communists that are okay. I'm gonna say that I was gonna say I have communist friends. Okay, yes,
we do have communist friends. We have a lot of communist friends.
I know, but that sounds like saying like, oh, I have a black friend, so I'm not racist. But I am not against. I am not against communists. There are many communists that I love and see, and like Mariam Namazi, for example, is a hero of mine, and she's a communist. Okay, but as an ideology, I am very, very anti-communism. Okay, even though there are many communists that I like as people. Okay, so anyways, and I'll soften the blow so that maybe they will still appreciate what I'm doing. Okay. I will defend the rights of communists if anybody oppresses them for their communism. I will stand up against whoever is crushing them. Oh, by the way, is this a good time to show them the cup that music guy gave me, or no? Is this a bad time?
No. Shh.
Is this a bad time? Okay, I have to. I can't see, guys. This is why.
Time.
This is why we don't have we don't grow, because of me. This is what I do when people look at me and like, oh, Armin, we like you, this is great, you're our hero. This is what I do. I'm sorry, I can't help myself. Okay, this is a cup that music guy gave me. I have it here at all times. It says "Call me tears." Still worms. Oh no. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. Am I still your hero? No, not anymore. Why do I do this, Susie? This is why nobody
why
loves.
do you do this? This is why we don't grow. This is why we don't grow.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay. All right.
I will encourage all communists and socialists to come here.
Yeah. Well, this is oh, there we go. Pakistani communist saying, Armin, we love you regardless. Oh,
we love
I
you too, just
it.
not the communism.
Yeah, we love. Okay, I appreciate that. No, I really appreciate that. Anybody that could keep friends even with the disagreement, that is somebody that I respect. Okay, so what I always say that we could disagree and passionately disagree as much as we want, as long as we don't use our disagreements to hate each other. If you could appreciate and support people that you have significant disagreement with, you are at the next level, and we need to get more people at that level. Anyways, can we clap? Oh, one last thing. Sorry, very quickly. One reason why I do this, Susanna, is because I want to make sure we're not building a cult. I read, like, even though we're not going to grow as fast, the fact that every time we build a following, I look at their sacred, their sacred crowds, and make burgers out of it. It's because we're trying to make sure that we're not building somebody who are a group of people who are blindly following anything we say. Anyway,
sometimes I feel personally attacked on this channel.
All right. Okay. Can we clap for the next news?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. Next news.
Far-right Dutch politician suspended from Twitter for a tweet attacking Islam. On April 19th, Geert Wilders, a known anti-immigrant Dutch politician, lost access to his Twitter account. His account was suspended reportedly for violating Twitter's rules against hateful conduct. Geert's tweet was to Shehbaz Sharif, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, or it was in reply to the Prime Minister of Pakistan, and denounced the, quote, violence of the intolerant ideology called Islam. The tweet was promptly removed from Twitter, and he lost access to his account. Wilders and his party have been open about their anti-Islam and anti-immigration agendas. His extreme political views and agendas have earned him the nickname Dutch Donald Trump. In 2015, he stated that Islam is not even suitable for European values, and he's pushed for a ban on Islam. However, Euronews reported that the suspension was a mistake. On April 18th, Twitter clarified that they temporarily restricted Wilders' account. So
wait,
they're like,
okay,
we were supposed to restrict you. We suspended you. Whoops.
Oh, wait, so they went from just a temporary thing to a permanent thing?
Yeah, and like taking action against that specific tweet.
Okay, I don't understand. I don't like this guy. Okay, he, based on some information I have, he seems to be anti-Muslim rather than anti-Islam. However,
definitely.
Yeah. However, this tweet specifically seems like, what the way you described it, seemed to be not bigoted, seemed to be anti-ideology, not anti-people. Wasn't it? Like, so
okay,
wait, what was the
based
tweet?
on what I have read too, I haven't been able to find the actual tweet in question, and I haven't even been able to find a report that like actually gives the delete that was tweeted in full. I could only find like that fragment of it. And yeah, I'm like, well, that's not against people. I mean, this guy definitely is.
Yeah, this guy is a right leaning, like far right loon. Okay, anti-immigration loon. Okay, so by the way, immigration is often a good thing. So anybody that doesn't says that is anti-immigration is either a bigot or just doesn't know how to read data.
Oh man,
Um,
I am so pro immigration, it's ridiculous.
yeah, but yeah, even so, we have no idea what the tweet was, so we can't judge it because maybe the tweet was generalizing Muslims. I don't know.
Okay, no, but
But it
at the
does.
end he posted a video of the reaction to him in Pakistan. Should we play that?
Is it playable? I'm
It's
scared.
he posted like his own hate video basically. It's just like photos of people standing on pictures of him all over Pakistan.
No, I don't want to play. Wait, how is he tweeting? Is he back on Twitter?
Yeah, no, that's the whole thing. Twitter,
Oh.
like, you know, when people reached out to Twitter to be like, whoa, why did you suspend this guy? They were like, oh, we didn't mean to suspend him. That was a mistake. Like, we were supposed
Sorry.
to just put a restriction on his account.
Oh, I misunderstood. Wait, how can we get our Twitter account back? So how do we get the same level of reaction?
Right. Well, we are not a politician, so that's part of it.
Oh my god!
But Armin, you know what we're doing some things behind the scenes. You know,
Yes,
you
yes,
know what I'm working on, and it's gonna be big.
Okay, wait, let's cover it.
Biggest
But
yet.
I don't want to play this video. I don't want to play this video because if he's getting like a death, okay, I see like I want to make sure he's not getting threats to his life. You know what I mean? Because I see a gun. Because if we play it, then YouTube
you have
might
a good
like.
point.
Let's not play this video, okay? YouTube doesn't kid around. Like if we like, hey guys, somebody threatened us. Here's their threat. YouTube is like, oh, you just lost your entirety of your YouTube like monetization forever because like we're like, well, we weren't ending a threat. We were just showing someone else's threat against us. Like YouTube, like doesn't matter. You showed that you displayed a threat to someone's life, even if it was you. And they will not listen. They will just remove your monetization. So that's why I'm not going to play this video. Yeah. So that's how it works. YouTube is insane. Okay. So here's the thing. I'm going to say that we cannot judge the tweet because we don't know what the tweet was. Maybe it was ban-worthy. But go on.
Oh, I was about to say, I don't understand why it seems like it's just a truism. Like, why do right-wing populist politicians?
Mm-hmm.
God, I can't talk today. Why do they all have crazy hair? This guy's hair is so crazy. It doesn't look that bad in this photo, but if you look at him from the front, his hair is so wildly like poofed and pompadoured. I'm like, Donald Trump also has crazy hair. Boris Johnson has crazy hair.
Boris Johnson is not like as loony as, you know, he's not far right. He's just conservative. Like, do not group him with these other people. I mean, conservatism is still horrible, but it's not like far right. I just got triggered for Boris Johnson. That was
I know, but they are all right wing with a populist strain, and they all have freaking crazy hair. True.
Anyways, by the way, I can't believe that people are calling him a Trump. He was way before. He was a politician way before Trump. He was like anti-immigration and stuff way before Trump.
He's been living under police protection since 2004.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move to the next. Oh, back to India.
Yes.
Is it okay?
Okay. Man, I'm looking at his Twitter, like just everything on his Twitter right now. It's like solely dedicated to just trashing Pakistan.
Why?
Like, everything on his Twitter right now is just solely about Pakistan.
I know why. I think I know
dunking
why.
on Pakistan.
Because he's getting the most amount of death threats from Pakistan, probably.
Well, I mean, that's also what he's saying. Is that that's where he gets the most threats?
See, okay, so I didn't even know that, but I guess that I think he noticed that he noticed how sensitive a lot of people are in Pakistan, so he's poking at it more to get more reaction out of it, so he could display the reaction. I think that's what's happening. Okay, can we clap for the next news?
Yes, we can. Well, we don't like this. We don't like this, but let's clap.
Nobody died though.
Yep.
Nobody died.
Nobody died. Next news. Indian university professor fired for quote unquote insulting Hindu god. On April 23rd, Gursang Preet Kaur, I'm going to say Kaur, a university professor at Lovely Professional University in Punjab, India, was fired over an alleged offensive comment regarding the Hindu god Rama. According to the outraged, Kaur put the deity in a bad light by referring to Rama as, quote unquote, a cunning person. A video recorded during a presentation showed Kaur making the comment, quote, actually, Rama is not a good person by heart. According to legend, Rama is an incarnation of the god Vishnu. Oh my God, big mistake. The god Vishnu and his wife Sita. And his wife Sita was kidnapped by the demon king Ravana. After Rama saved her from Ravana, Sita had to prove her purity by subjecting herself to a trial by fire. Rama is seen as a revered deity associated with righteousness and chivalry by most Hindus. Kaur's lecture challenged the historic lens through which Rama is usually seen and questioned if he is indeed as righteous as people claim. She flipped the traditional narrative on its head when stating, quote, how can I decide who is good and evil? And the whole world is worshiping Ram and saying Ravana is a bad person. She accused Rama of planning to trap Sita and, quote, put all the blame on Ravana. The university quickly distanced itself from Kaur's comment. Their statement said, we wish to clarify that the views shared by her are absolutely personal, and the university does not endorse any of them, adding, we have always been a secular university where people from all religions and faiths are treated equally with love and respect.
Are you telling me people's beliefs were challenged in a university?
Yes.
How dare she? How dare you? Rama was definitely not a good person. He burned his wife to prove her purity. The most important part of the story, by the way, we got another anonymous donation, and we also had the one before earlier, so thank you for that, guys. But one of the most famous parts of Rama's story is when Sita was accused by people of having sexual relationships with her abductor. What was his name? The guy with the many heads?
Ravana.
Yes, that guy. And she was like, "Nah, I'm pure. I didn't sleep with him." And people were like, "Yes, you did." And she was like, "No, I didn't." And they were like, "Okay, prove it. If you survive this pile of fire, then you're pure." And Rama was like, "Yes, do it." So Rama was like, the whole story of Rama was like purity culture. This is a very extreme version of purity culture. Like, one reason why we're against, oh yeah, so all the Hindu people in India, Hindutva people who are like, oh, hijab bad, hijab oppressive. The reason why hijab is bad is because hijab promotes modesty culture, right? But guess what? Hinduism also promotes modesty culture. And one major way it does that is through the story of Rama, where Sita had to go to this length to show that she's pure. So if any good argument against hijab would be also against Rama, would be against Hindu scripture. What do you think?
No, I agree. If you scroll down, we can actually listen to the audio that caused all this trouble. And what's interesting is a lot of people are saying, no, it's in the tweet. They're saying, oh my God, I completely lost my train of thought. I'm not feeling like very well today, which is why I can't like communicate effectively. Oh no, they were saying, okay, this is a clip that people are so outraged over. Can we get the full lecture? Like, let's get the full speech. What is the context of this? You know, this was a tiny portion of a whole lecture. Like, we can't really understand her full meaning with this. But I found what she had to say, like, really fascinating, and I think you will really like it.
Okay, so should I play it?
Yes.
But actually, do you know Ravan is a very good person by heart? Ram is not a good person. Ram is not a good person at all. Ravan is a good person. I find Ram is a cunning person. He made all the plan to trap Sita in that. He put Sita into trouble and put all the blame on Ravan. How can we decide who is good and evil is? And the whole world is worshipping Ram and saying that Ravan is a bad person. And all the plan is done by him. So how he can be so good? He is cunning. We try to give this type of arguments that can make people think about it. That is extemporaneous. Right? Anyways, confidence is good.
How did he exactly con everybody again? Like, when...
Well, that's her argument.
Was Rama's plan for Sita to be kidnapped? Like, was that his plan entirely?
No.
That's pretty cool. But
maybe there is more. Again, I'm not fully aware of the full context of what she's saying, because we only have like a clip that's less than a minute long. But maybe she was talking about the broader situation. Ram like did allow for the situation in which she was kidnapped, essentially.
Yeah. Also, Rav, yeah, we need to actually do. I'm gonna, for people who don't know, I'm doing streams on Hinduism, Hindu scripture. We're gonna review this story as well in those series. We're gonna go through details and figure out whether Rama was in the right or in the wrong. Okay. But here it is an interesting point. Oxymoron who's usually disagrees with us on any of these points is saying, I actually support this, like the teacher, if they will be consistent with this just on academic grounds. No, actually, Oxymoron, you should be able to say this even without being on academic grounds. Like, I could say, like, screw Rama, like, you know, I want to swear, but YouTube doesn't let me, but I should be able to do that. I should be like, you know what, he's a jerk. Rama was a jerk. Okay, Rama was an a-hole. Okay, well, this is not academic, but I should be able to do that. But is she in trouble? Like, what trouble is she in now because of this?
She got fired.
Is she not going to get her job back? Like, she can't talk, so you can't analyze Hindu scripture in India.
And
without
she literally says in it, in that clip, she's saying, like, I'm saying this to get people thinking about it.
Oh yeah,
like, okay, basically saying like flipping the roles and tropes of this story to like reconsider, you know, everything we've been taught to believe about this legend. You know, like just flipping it on its head. Like, if we looked at this through a different angle, how might we read this story?
Yeah, that's
like what academics do.
Yeah, I'm making you, like, we have a story here. I'm trying to, let's see if we could frame it in a different way to see if you're capable of looking at things differently. That's what you're supposed to do as in a university, to like challenge your views about the views that you have about things. And she's being a good, responsible teacher. She's like doing it for you. She's like poking at things that you hold, that you assumed, you know. So that's oh my god. And you lose your.
This is
obviously
a huge issue of academic freedom. Like, you're not, how do you question if this is off limits?
Yeah. Yeah.
Secular Rarity saying, weird. If the story was true, then why would it be a problem to approach it in this way? I mean, obviously it's not true. It's a myth. But I think you mean like if these roles that were given to us were given to the characters was so true, then yeah, it should be obvious that that's the truth, and it wouldn't bother people to approach it as a problem. And Forever Stormy is saying she's basically saying that Vishnu planned the whole thing by incarnating as Ram. Oh, interesting. That's a good way to put it. And then so therefore Sita's kidnapping was predestined. Excellent point.
Okay.
Excellent point from Stormy.
So basically, it's kind of like in Christianity, you're saying like, it's kind of like saying, like, God put the tree in the Eden. Why did He put it there? Didn't He kind of he knew that that Eve is going to eat the apple, and He predestined to do so. So you could like, oh, like let's look at the Genesis story. God is being a jerk here. Like He told Adam and Eve not to eat the apple, knowing that they're going to eat it. He put the tree there, and then He punished them for it. So God is a jerk. So if you say that like to people who just accepted the story, if you like reframe it like that, people are like more like, yeah. So it encourages them to like look at it from different angles. So it's interesting. It's interesting to start like, okay, forget religion. Okay, what if I just like told you like, okay, let me make a justification for make you Voldemort's case, okay, and take Harry Potter's story and tell you that, like, what if I read you the story in a different way, like look at it from Voldemort's perspective and show you that maybe he's not as evil as you think if you see things from his perspective, right? And even if it's wrong, just it would just be an interesting practice just to see like show you how things could be about framing, right? Like how you have to be mindful of how stories are being framed, because framed differently, things that used to be look good or evil might now look exactly the opposite. And you just being mindful of that will make you go into the world and analyze things with a little bit more nuanced and a little more objective, and also a little bit more aware of your own emotions and how your emotions will have an effect on your final judgment on how you read a story. So I think that's a very interesting exercise to go through.
I completely agree. This is like a normal academic exercise that people do.
Yeah.
Forever Stormy is making a good point as well. Also, it's important to note that she's Sikh. A minority saying such things is intolerable in India right now.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think this is just a symptom of the current political environment. It's a resultant symptom of the current political climate.
All right, somebody on Facebook is saying why is just asking us why you don't believe about God, Allah, and we do. We're secret Muslims here. Okay, I don't know.
Oh wait, that's also true.
Like, I don't know. I think you didn't get the memo. Both me and Susanna are Muslims, but just don't tell anybody. Okay. Okay.
You guys don't tell anyone else either.
Yes. Taqiyya. Can we clap for the next news?
This. Well, yeah, we can clap. Let's get into it.
Okay. Next news.
7 arrested for throwing pork and pages of Quran at mosques in India. On August, the dyslexia tonight. Okay. On April 21st, 7 individuals were arrested in Uttar Pradesh for the desecration of several mosques. Local police explained that the suspects wanted revenge for the violent clashes that took place in Delhi during the Hanuman Jayanti parades and Ram Navabi festivals in early April. The arrested individuals threw torn pages of the Quran and pig meat at mosques in Josiana and Kashmiri Mohalla. They also desecrated Gulab Sa Baba, a local mazar or shrine. The Wire reported that the arrested individuals are members of a local Hindutva group called the Hindu Yodha Sangantham. The group's mastermind, Mahesh Kumar Mishra, has a long criminal history. An administrator for the shrine told The Wire that they also found posters that said, "If you pelt stones, we will," I have to spell this out, "we will bomb you. And also, "We have damaged your Quran. If you were born to one mother, come out on the streets and fight." Quote, during the questioning of those arrested, it came to light that they wanted to ruin this city's amicable atmosphere and peaceful tradition, the local superintendent of police said.
Is this the official, like the actual footage of the incident, the cover?
Shut up. Well, now you have to explain what you're looking at for people who are listening.
Well, I'm looking at a man throwing up a Quran and a cute little piglet up in the air, but assumingly towards the direction of the mosque in the background. So I don't know. Is this Photoshop or is this real?
The little pig clip art is really cute. But yeah, Armin, what do you think about this? Well, it's both blasphemy and incitement to riot.
I mean, you're throwing stuff at people's mosques. You should be arrested for that. It doesn't even if it's not a Quran or a pork or some pork. Like you just like this is harassment. Okay, so obviously it should be criminal. I just don't understand this. The challenge that you mentioned. They said if you are born from one mother to one mother, come out and face us. Is that what you said?
If you're born to one mother, like come and defend your Quran, basically. This must be some
as
sort
opposed
of local
to
saying, because I'm like, how are you not born of one mother? Like
yeah,
exactly.
do some
As
people
opposed
have
to what? Like, can someone please explain this saying? I'm like, this must be. Maybe this doesn't translate. I don't understand.
Yeah. As opposed to what? Who are the people who have been born from two? I was just imagining, like, I don't know, your head being coming out of one woman and then the rest of your body coming out of another woman, and you put it together. Like, this is the weirdest. It's the weirdest insult. If you're born out of one mother, okay, sure, that was the first. Oh, there we go. They're specifically insulting surrogate kids, right? This is anti-surrogate kids. I get it now. What do they have against surrogate? How is this an insult? Is that something a major taboo in India? Like they're specific. If you're not a surrogate kid, come and defend your Quran.
Oh my god.
Sure.
Oh my god. Nanda is so crazy that he's saying Modi government arresting Hindus just for throwing. India has become truly Islamic secular. What?
Oh no. But for people who don't know, Nanda is actually seriously like an anti-Muslim.
This is not a
Hindutva.
troll. This person is sincere.
Not yeah, this is like a Hindutva kind of person. I don't know, like this is pretty insane. Okay, yeah, how dare you arrest people for throwing stuff at other people's mosques?
I don't know, maybe also being arrested for the posters that they put up that said that they're going to take explosive action against them. I'm using coded language because of YouTube. Yeah, I think that I would consider that a direct threat.
Yeah, but also look at how they put things that are just seen as evil together, and it doesn't make any sense. India has truly become Islamic secular. I don't think you know how words work, Nanda. Islamic secular, okay, but here's a Kanya Baba is saying Bollywood movies have such dialogue, like if you're born to one dad, then come out and fight. Okay, that makes more sense though.
That makes more sense.
So basically, when you say like if you're born to one dad, there's talking about people like telling you. I mean, it makes no sense because it's still shaming people based on things that they can't control. Okay, like whether or not
calling your mother a whore.
Yeah, it's basically calling your mother a whore, right? Because it's possible for people not to know who their real dad is, and you have like it could be dispute between multiple people. It doesn't work like that for mother. So this person that was throwing that insult wasn't thinking very hard.
Or maybe it's a mistranslation.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, what I thought was really interesting is that they were booked under the blasphemy law. What they were booked for was the blasphemy law.
Oh wow, not harassment.
No, well, because the blasphemy law is 295 is injuring or defiling a place of worship with intent to insult the religion of any class, and 295A deliberate and malicious acts intended to outrage religious feelings of any class by insulting its religion or religious beliefs. That's the blasphemy law in India, and that's the same law and area of the aspect of the penal code that people have come after us with.
Well, we don't support that. I wish they were like the way that this should have been arrested and charged, in my opinion, is for harassment
And death threats.
and yeah, and
And
destruction
vandalism.
and vandalism. Yes, there you go. Vandalism, death threats, and harassment.
If you scroll
Those are
down,
the
there's
charges.
actually video of what they did.
Oh, really? Okay. What
Mhm.
a video of a video, apparently. Is this it?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, hold on. Let me put the
No, I
audio
mean,
back
there's
on.
not audio.
Okay, but it just makes it more interesting if I put the audio.
Can you describe what you're seeing?
I'm seeing a street, and like a back alley, and somebody shows up on a motorcycle. This is getting intense. There's two people on the motorcycle, and they just passed. Oh,
No,
there's
they
a
checked
second
something.
motorcycle. They did? I didn't see that. Is that it? Oh yeah. Wait, no, they didn't. Okay, it's not viewable. Okay, a second motorcycle with two people. I don't see them. Okay, it's not very
No, you
clear
can
what
see
they're.
them tossing things as they drive
They
by.
tossed something at the motorcycle at the mosque, but it's not very obvious. I think our footage was more interesting. Oh, there we go. This is okay. Here, guys. Somebody got off the motorcycle and he has something in his hand and is walking towards the mosque. And we don't see what happens behind the scene. He goes behind the wall, so we don't see what's happening there.
And what's also notable is that they bought skull caps and dressed up with skull caps to look like Muslims as they're doing it. You can see their caps in this video, right?
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, okay. So it's okay. So they're under disguise. Okay, interesting. Okay, but I seriously think this is a better footage that we have. Look, it's so obvious what's happening here.
It's not. We're not throwing pork. We're throwing the pig. Chucking a whole piglet.
I mean, the pig seems to be happy about it. Anyways,
no. So I want to read a little bit about this from The Wire. So wait, where is this about Mishra? The locals told The Wire that Mishra, the main accused, is infamous in the area. So he's the ringleader. Imran Hashmi, a student leader, said that Mishra had previously filmed himself urinating on a poster of Dr. Ambedkar. In another audio recording,
okay, Hashmi you crossed the line. Now we're offended. This should be blasphemy, not Dr. Ambedkar. Are you okay? This is like my secularism has been blasphemed against.
I think we found a way to blaspheme against secularism.
Yeah, there we go. Dr. Ambedkar. No, okay. Throw the book at these people. Put him in jail for life, okay? No, but go on. I'm joking, by the way. I'm not serious, by the way. Anybody?
In another audio recording, Hashmi alleged that Mishra can be heard hurling communal slurs and targeting a local dargah, which is like another kind of like little shrine almost. Speaking to The Wire, Hashmi said, there is a pattern associated with Mishra. However, he has not faced any repercussions. These elements are attempting to provoke riots in our city, and we are demanding that stringent action must be taken against these men. And then he said, what about bulldozers now? What will be done to them is a big question. Referencing how in Kargan, all these houses of dozens of Muslims were just bulldozed because some Muslims threw stones. And they said, if you throw stones, like we will turn your homes into stones. And illegally bulldozed the houses of many civilians without warning. And so this guy's basically saying, what about bulldozers now? Like, you collectively punished a bunch of impoverished Muslims simply because other Muslims in the city threw stones. And without due process, you said that that was us and destroyed our homes, rendered us homeless. Like, what about the actions of these Hindus taking this reaction against Muslims? Are you going to take bulldozers out against them?
No, you're gonna have to go turn their house into pork. Wait, no. Okay, okay. I have a question though. What happened after he pissed on Dr. Ambedkar's picture? Like, was there any reaction?
No, that's just an allegation against him.
Okay, okay. How about this? Somebody do that in India so that we could show them that maybe secularists are chill and they will not come at you after you do that. Like, I mean, supporters of the Ambedkar, I don't think they would be like out in the streets like it would, like they're not going to form a mob and try to get
I don't
revenge.
know. People go. Some Ambedkarites are like pretty hardcore.
Yeah, they're hardcore, but they're hardcore in favor of him, but they're not like violent. I think. I hope not. They're
to
not
my
going to be like.
knowledge,
Yeah, no, it would be based if some like okay, so like you see like some Muslims like try to poke at Hindus by blaspheming against them, and you get like a major reaction by a lot of Hindus, or vice versa. Some Hindutva go and like blaspheme against like what Muslims have sacred, and then you get the major reaction from Muslims, and then things becomes extremely tense. It would be very base if somebody tried to do that with, I don't know, secularists and be like, oh, Dr. Ambedkar, here, I'll piss on his picture. And then nothing happens. And they'll be like, this is the proper reaction. Right? Like that would be based. I hope that would be the reaction. Oh no,
yeah, like,
Oxymoron is saying they are violent. Are they actually violent? That's
okay,
sad.
Oxymoron, I know you have your own contentions with Ambedkarites though. Like, I'm familiar with this. So
okay, so we can't trust Oxymoron.
some of the things you've said about them are like a little wild. So I'm gonna take your commentary with a grain of salt. No offense.
Yes.
With
yeah.
Kanye Baba is providing one of my favorite Ambedkar quotes, because people always,
favorite.
Well, the Hindufa kind of like him because he was a huge critic of Islam as well. Not as well known for that. But so this is a really good quote, saying the brotherhood of Islam is not the universal brotherhood of man. It is the brotherhood of Muslims for Muslims only. There's a fraternity, but its benefits is confined to those within that corporation. For those who are outside that corporation, there's nothing but contempt and enmity. B.R. Ambedkar.
And Dr. Ambedkar was anti-Hinduism and Islam at the same time, which is amazing that he's one of the founding fathers of India, a country that a lot of people assume is a country of major two religions of Islam and Hinduism, right? But also, even though he seemed like he was pro-Buddhism, I have been almost convinced right now that he was just using the Buddhism brand as a way to promote Enlightenment values, because nothing about what
No, I'm pretty sure he like openly says that.
Yeah, because he wasn't promoting Buddhism. He was just promoting Enlightenment values, but he didn't want it to seem like this is our foreign values outside of India. So he just gave it the Buddhism brand so that it's more, you could sell it more easily inside of India.
Well, he explicitly wanted to basically gift a new group identity that is self-respecting to the Dalits. Like Ambedkarite Buddhism is basically what he constructed.
Yeah, but his Buddhism is not actually Buddhism.
No. It's just about liberty, equality, and fraternity. And on John Naya is saying, I'm a Hindu and a voter of BJP, but I support the decriminalizing of blasphemy.
Well, that's
cool.
Good.
I'm glad we have that in common. Let's decriminalize blasphemy.
Yeah. But please don't vote for BJP. Reconsider that. Rethink. What?
I wanted to highlight that because that's an opinion I don't hear every day. And Forever Stormy is saying, I think you guys need to understand that within Hindutva groups, there is an intense turf war. So when these guys get arrested in places like Uttar Pradesh, it's because they are rivals of those sponsored by the ruling BJP. Oh, that's a very interesting way of putting it. Like they're all trying to like rival for like street cred and power. Oh,
And being
very
arrested
interesting
sometimes gives you
perspective.
extra street cred.
Exactly.
So sometimes you're trying to be arrested.
That's some very good commentary, Stormy. Thank you. Interesting. You know, I really like who we have in our live chat because people really bounce some very interesting perspectives. And I really like to have that as a sounding board when talking about these issues.
Okay, cool. That's fantastic. Can we clap for the next news?
We don't like this, but it's not the worst. And no one is even physically harmed, so we'll clap.
No one is physically harmed.
Okay, next news. Supreme Court declares Boston City Hall must fly Christian flag. On May 2nd, the United States unanimously ruled that the city of Boston had violated the First Amendment rights of a Christian nationalist group when they rejected its request to fly a Christian flag at the City Hall building. The issue started when they denied the group, known as Camp Constitution's request to fly a Christian flag after approving the application of 284 other groups, which included mostly foreign nations and a pride flag. Matt Staver, an attorney at Liberty Counsel representing Camp Constitution, said the government cannot censor religious viewpoints under the guise of government speech. Boston stopped its flag-raising program in October last year to prevent the city from proclaiming, quote, messages antithetical to its own. City officials stated that they felt approving Camp Constitution's request would violate the First Amendment's ban on on government endorsement of a particular religion. Rachel Laser, senior president and CEO of Americans United for Separation of Church and State, expressed that the decision could undermine church-state separation. Laser also pointed out the alarming aspects of Camp Constitution, which teaches historical inaccuracies such as America was founded as a Christian nation. In response to the Supreme Court's decision, the Satanic Temple recently announced their plan to apply to the city of Boston to fly a satanic flag at the government offices.
Okay, I don't understand how this happened. Like, and can you explain it a little bit more? Why this was allowed? Or not allowed is mandated? Can you?
Well, yeah, according to the policies of Boston, they have to fly this kind of flag.
Okay. But how is this? Yes. But how is this not a violation of church-state separation?
Okay. The city's quote. Wait, here we go. Yeah, the city's lack of meaningful involvement in the selection of flags or the crafting of their private messages lead us to classify the flag raisings as private, not government speech. We consider whether Boston's refusal to allow Camp Constitution to raise their flag amounted to impermissible viewpoint discrimination.
Okay. So
they're even basically saying that because based on the policy and the language of the city's flag raising policy, like they didn't have an involvement in the selecting of the flags or crafting their message. Like you could apply to fly a flag and they would approve, they would fly the flag, they would approve you. But the fact that this is a flag that they refused when they had previously basically had not much involvement.
So it's discrimination because it's not the government raising it. It is the
government raising it, but they're not meaningful involved in the
because the government is not deciding what is the flag that is being raised. They're raising it, but they're not deciding what the flag is that is being raised. By not approving the flag, they were discriminating against Christians. Right, so it's not So that's what the argument is. All right, so great. So that means that the Satanic Temple flag should be raised then, based on these arguments.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Okay, good.
One thing that confused me, and
Can we
honestly,
apply for Atheist Republic flag to be raised? Can we go apply?
we might have to be residents of Boston. I don't know, but
Yeah.
if we can, then we should definitely try.
We
That's a
could
good
talk
point,
to our
actually.
Boston consulate.
That's true. Holy crap, we can do this.
Yeah, we can do that.
So this is one of these cases where honestly, like the
Oh yeah, there we go.
legal definitions of like this private speech versus the government speech frankly confuses me. So there's a lot about how this decision came down that doesn't necessarily make sense to me, and is an issue of where like I can't tell if this is a legitimate violation of secularism or if this is actually a good ruling in regards to protection of First Amendment rights. Based on the way it went down, like I could see it both ways. So yeah, just in full transparency, like this is one thing that does confuse me. But Justice Breyer noted that since the court's decision was based on the technicality of how the city created its flag raising policy, the city can just change its policies to exclude private speech, and then they don't have to like continue to fly flags of this nature.
Oh shit, we should do this fast then. Yeah, Forever
Yeah.
Storm is saying we should apply to fly the Atheist Republic flag. Yeah, exactly.
We can find a
That's what
way. We can find a way. Now we have to make an Atheist Republic flag.
Well, it's
Probably like
easy.
a big one too, if it has to go on top of a government building.
Yeah, that would be so based.
That'd be so
but-
cool.
Yeah. read this one.
Secular Sakai is saying BS. It's still government property. It's just hypocritical.
Oh, you
as
got
those
cut.
states'
Go back.
commandments memorialized in their capital.
Read that again. You got cut.
Oh, Secular Sakai is saying BS. It's still government property. It's just as hypocritical as those states that have the 10 Commandments memorialized in their capitals.
Yeah.
No, that's very true. And then now we get to have the Satanic Temple come rolling through and be like, this is what the Satanic Temple does. They're like, we heard you allowed religion here. Shall I invite you to our Lord and Savior Satan?
Okay, that you should make that should be clipped. Okay, that sound is a perfect summary of the entirety of the purpose of the Satanic Temple. That knocking sound, and we heard that you allow religion here. That is the best summary ever. Oh yeah. This is Secular Sakai saying this. Yeah, we should just put the emoji on the flag.
That'd be awesome. Just fly the emojis.
Yeah. Well, here's the application, by the way.
Yeah, no, go to the tweet. So the Satanic Temple tweeted, the Satanic Temple replies to the Supreme Court ruling that found Boston violated the First Amendment rights by refusing to fly a Christian flag at City Hall Plaza. And then there's a picture attached. And the picture is that their reply is that they're putting an application to the satanic flag at Boston City Hall.
Now you can see that now you see where we can file the application ourselves as well. So let's go and join them.
Yeah. Now the satanic flag hasn't been revealed yet, but I read that it might be a like black and white American flag, except instead of all the stars, there's just like the Baphomet pentagram.
Oh my God! Fantastic, beautiful. Love it.
If they do fly this above Boston City Hall, how freaking metal is that? Like
that is cool.
You're flying Baphomet from the government building? That's oh my gosh. That's literally a Christian like QAnon person's worst nightmare. They're like, America really is ending. Like,
is it actually the worst nightmare? I think it's their dream come true. Because
it validates their delusions.
Because it validates the satanization, I just made up a word, of America.
Satanization
of America.
I like
yeah.
that.
By the way, QAnon, I just invented the word. You could use that. That sounds pretty cool, actually, now that I think about it. Satanize this. Yeah, like, wow, I made a verb. That's fantastic. That's beautiful.
I made a verb.
I'm impressed with myself. Okay.
I think here in Atheist Republic we can completely unanimously agree in promoting the satanization of America.
Satanization of anything, to be honest.
Yes, actually.
Anything satanized is better. It's an improvement. Cool. Can we? Okay, so. Oh yeah, Blank Name is also saying technically the First Amendment doesn't state the separation of church and state. It just says respecting an establishment of religion. Yes, but based on the interpretation of the founding fathers themselves, you have it on record that their interpretation is a separation of church and state. So you don't even have to find your do gymnastic arguments to come up with their interpretation, because they have it on record that is their interpretation. Okay, so can we clap for the next news?
Yeah, I thought this was interesting.
Okay. Susanna found this interesting.
I can't stand you. Next news. Facebook and Twitter overwhelmingly fail to remove anti-Muslim posts, report finds. On April 28th, the Center for Countering Digital Hate, or CCDH, a nonprofit organization headquartered in London, UK, published a report showing that social media giants Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram failed to respond to almost 90% of quote-unquote Islamophobic content. In its recent release, CCDH criticized Twitter, Google, and Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, for their failure to implement their policies against online hate. The report claimed that the social media companies' failure to take action produces, quote, a significant threat to offline harm. A significant threat of offline harm. Kemi Badenoch, the Minister for Communities and Equalities in the United Kingdom, supported CCDH's report, emphasizing the, quote, unacceptable abuse many Muslims receive online every day. The contents examined by CCDH included offensive opinions, caricatures, false claims, threats, and conspiracy theories. Report shows that Twitter failed to take action against 97% of the reported content, while YouTube did not censor 23 videos on its platform that had anti-Muslim content.
Okay, by anti-Muslim, I think they mean anti-Islam.
No, I did some
really?
digging. I did some digging.
Okay, go ahead.
So I looked at the report, and because I was worried about this. I had the same thought, because all the mainstream media reporting on this said that Facebook and Twitter failed to remove Islamophobic content. And this was like the word that was consistently used to describe this report and that kind of content. And then I went to go read the report itself, and the report itself only mentions the word Islamophobia like twice. But I found over 90 instances of the term anti-Muslim in the report. So the report overwhelmingly uses the word anti-Muslim more than Islamophobia or Islamophobic itself, which I thought was really good.
Okay, but maybe they mean they call it anti-Muslim bigotry, but the nature of the post that they're analyzing, like if somebody is like talking crap about Muhammad, do they consider that to be anti-Muslim bigotry?
No.
Or if no?
So it's like
okay, that's pretty
racist cartoons, like portrayals of Muslims as pigs. Again, YouTube, I'm describing something.
Don't say that. YouTube, that's not our view. That's not our view. We're just describing some bigoted description
content
of it. Yeah, Susie, don't even say that. YouTube
like
really doesn't understand that is not our view. So okay.
And like, bigoted caricatures or even threats. And a lot of the content they were talking about were conspiracy theories, like really bad conspiracy theories. I'm going to use some coded language, like the conspiracy theory of, actually, I can't even, a large number of people moving to Europe to replace the people who were there before. Do you know what I'm talking about, Armin?
Yes.
Okay.
Um,
I'm like trying to, that's a big one for YouTube, so I'm trying not to say that. Yeah. And so based on what I was looking at, I was like, oh no, this seems like genuinely against the people. Very little of what I encountered in the report seemed to make me think this was against Islam or criticism of Islam.
Okay, so here's the thing though. A lot of people will be like, this is not racist. Islam is not a race. Yes, but a lot of bigots racialize Islam. Okay, so just because Islam is not a race, that doesn't mean the people who are trying to be anti-Muslim do not depict and try to belittle them as a racial group. So they do racialize it even if it's not a race. So
yes, yeah, specifically typically against Arabs and South Asians.
Pakistani.
Yeah. Yes. So, however, I have some criticism of how this report was conducted. So it was conducted over a period of 1 month, and what they did was they just their barometer for measuring how Twitter is failing to respond to this issue is that they went and found hateful conduct that violated these policies, and then they reported it to these companies themselves. And then based on their own interaction of reporting the content to Twitter or Facebook, whatever, and if the report was accepted or not, then that was their barometer. Like based on just these personal reports that they're submitting.
No, okay.
I don't feel like that's that objective or systematic of a way to measure how well they're addressing this issue. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a good criticism, I think. Secularity is wondering if you mean tree placement theory.
Exactly. Bubble is saying this is absolutely right. I'd report comments with literal slur words in them, and Facebook doesn't take it down.
How come our Facebook page gets so many strikes then? If they're like this slow to take things out, how come our Facebook page
wildly anti-Semitic, literally threatening comments to Facebook, and they're like, no, this doesn't violate our policies. I'm like, how? Like, how?
Yeah, but then our Facebook page posts meme. Like we just yesterday we got a strike on our Facebook page. Can you describe
for the ridiculous thing?
For what?
It's ridiculous what we got a strike for. Should I show it?
Well, I don't want to show it because maybe YouTube also thinks that they agree with them.
Oh, and we're streaming on Facebook right now.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna describe what we got a strike for. Hold on, let me bring it. Okay, so says your content removed for violating our standards for hate speech. Okay, I can't even look at it. I have a screenshot of it on my phone. Hate.
No, I have. Yeah.
Okay. Well. Okay. Tell us what it is.
So in it, it's like one of those 2009 style like advice animal memes. And in it, in the center is, like an old painting of God, like an old picture of God as an old man, clearly the Abrahamic God, saying, don't like gays, don't like ham, don't like foreskin, don't like shaving, no reason, just don't like them.
Okay, we're making fun of God. We're not saying we don't like gays.
Yeah, it's saying we're not attributing it to ourselves. We're saying that he doesn't like gays.
We're making fun of it, Facebook.
We're attributing it to someone else. And it's also satirizing it and saying like homophobia isn't okay. It's like condemning that.
But we got a strike because Facebook thinks we're saying we don't like gays. That's what we got a strike for. We're making fun of God for not having any reason for saying that. Yeah. Unbelievable. How come we and so this is what we got. This is the strike that we got. So hold on. No, it says hateful. How do we? It's not very clear. Oh my god. Yeah, this is for hate speech. It doesn't even tell us you disagreed with this decision. We usually offer the chance to request a review.
No,
However,
Armin, we know it's hate speech, or they think it is.
yeah, but they also said that we submitted the disagreement, and they said they can't do anything about it because there's too many people reviewing things. So they just told us that they're not going to do anything about our appeal process. They officially told us that.
This is the joys of working at Facebook, which actually reminds me to tell people to please reach out to me, Atheist Republic's president and CEO, if you work at Facebook or you have a connection at Facebook, because our page is at risk of being unpublished with over 2.3 million followers, like the largest atheist page on the platform. Just unpublished because of numerous strikes that don't actually violate Facebook's policies. And I have even had Facebook employees agree with me and say, yeah, no, these don't violate our policies. But yeah,
but they can't do anything.
Even though like deprioritized to hell, not recommended to people because of atheist content that doesn't violate Facebook's policies. So email Susanna at Atheist Republic. Please email Susanna at Atheist Republic if you have a connection to the company who can help me fix this.
Post your email in the live chat, please, so we could highlight it. But also, I just want to tell you guys how ridiculous it is. We have had Facebook employees telling us that what you have a strike on Facebook for does not violate any of their Facebook rules. Facebook, we're not saying this. Facebook employees are saying this. Yet, even with that information from Facebook employee, not only we can't do anything about it, apparently the Facebook employee cannot do anything about it either. And with these strikes, our page is almost being removed. And right now, our page is not growing. Our people are not seeing our posts because of these strikes. It's ridiculous. The fact that even the employee can't do anything about it is just ridiculous after admitting that it doesn't violate any of the rules. And this is a page with more than 2 million followers, and we have access to nobody. So if you know somebody that could help us, please let us know.
Yeah.
And that's
it's really a matter of like barking up as many trees as possible, getting your name in front of the right person. And so it's worked for me before, and I am appealing to the Atheist Republic community to help us find a connection. I know we can. And also in Twitter, because we always need it at Twitter, or at YouTube, because we always need it at YouTube.
Yes. If you have any connections at YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, please contact Susanna.
The Atheist Republic has helped me get inside before, and we will do it again.
Okay, let's go to the next news. Can we clap for the next news?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. Next news.
Next news. American Hindus break silence and condemn anti-Muslim hate. So, every week I try to put the good news at the end of the show, and this is very good news. On April 22nd, a group of Hindu rights advocates, religious leaders, and other cause-oriented groups released a statement condemning the worsening religious violence in India. The statement, which denounced the weaponized Hindutva ideology, was initially released by, quote, Hindus for Human Rights, or HHR, a US-based group that advocates for pluralism and civil and human rights in South Asia and North America. Quote, we are dismayed to see Hindu leaders in India and abroad openly embrace Hindutva, a century-old political ideology that sees citizens of other faiths as inherently foreign and not qualified to enjoy the full benefits of Indian citizenship, the statement said. The statement also calls for Hindus to break their, quote, collective silence and speak out against this hate that violates the deepest teachings of our tradition. The statement was released amidst escalating violence in India. The United States Commission on International Religious Freedom, or USFRS for short, 2022 report labeled India as a country of particular concern for the third time. HHR's statement urged religious leaders and other rights groups to sign the pledge to speak out against anti-Muslim bigotry.
This is going to make the job of people like us a lot easier, because I think some Hindutva have learned from some Muslims who just accuse people who criticize Islam as like bigots or Islamophobe or racist or whatever. And I think a lot of Hindutva type people have copied that method from some Muslims, and just like anybody who criticizes them, or anybody who calls out their bigotry or discrimination or sometimes fascism of anti-Hindu bigots, right? So this is a very powerful way. Like we could be like, actually, what we're saying, a lot of Hindus agree with us. So having this to point to as a reference to like, this is not just what we're saying. This is what also a lot of Hindus are saying. Hindus who respect human rights are saying. It's going to really be something that we could use often. Like this is basically kind of like what a lot of ex-Muslims were useful for when criticizing Islam, right? So because a lot of like, I don't know, Westerners, when they want to criticize Islam, they're like, oh, you're being bigots, right? But having the ex-Muslim community come out and be like, we're from this community and we're saying Islam is like horrible as well, like it makes it more difficult for people to accuse them as bigots, right? So this is also good to be like, oh, look, Hindus are criticizing Hindutva as well. It's not just us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Somebody donated $20. Thank you so much.
Yes. Someone anonymous donated 20 Canadian dollars. Well, thank you, anonymous person, for a generous donation. Also, someone else anonymously donated $5 towards the beginning of the show
and
as well. And
5, 4, and 20. Thank you, and to all of you, and anybody that we missed. Yeah,
amazing. So there is a lot of interesting stuff that I want to talk about with this news. Well, Blink Name is saying this is awesome, and Aquamarine is saying, these are just leftist, non-resident Indians. This won't even make the news in India. Well, I actually got this from Indian news sites and sources, so that's not entirely true. Also, the title of this news is American Hindus Break Silence, but it was actually because it was predominantly American organizations, but it was also actually an internationally signed by religious leaders. A lot of Hindus many were in India, and then many were in places like South Africa or England. So it actually is like really an international pledge. So one thing that I thought was interesting about this news, something to consider, is one, it's nice to see people like really speaking out about this issue. But two, it kind of raises this question about complicity and the rhetoric around complicity. So, for example, I read articles by journalists like Rana Ayub and this other woman's name. It starts with an A, something Sharwani. And they talk about how this is the Hindu majority needs to speak out. Rana Ayub sometimes uses language talking about the complicity of the majority. But Armin, I know that sometimes you have some criticisms of like the silence is violence type of rhetoric. Do you think that Hindus are responsible or complicit?
No.
Are they responsible to speak out against this?
No.
And are they complicit if they don't?
No, they're not. You're not. No. Okay, you pick whatever form of activism you want to do. You're not guilty by association just because you didn't speak out against something. You don't have to. Nobody has to speak out against anything. I mean, as long as you're picking some good to do, it doesn't have to be the good that I think is important. You could do something else. Like for example, I can be like, oh, you're a Hindu, so you're responsible. You have to speak against this. That's bull crap. That's kind of like the people who say like, white silence is violence, or something like that, some bullcrap like that. I don't know what they say, right?
Mhm.
But like, or people who accuse Muslims of not speaking out, like, well, they don't have to speak out. It wasn't them. Like, like Muslim moderate Muslims who don't speak out against like Islamic extremism. Like, why do they have to speak out against it? They could do some other good thing. It wasn't them. Why are they responsible? They're not responsible, right? What if you're like a Hindu who just prefers to do good by, I don't know, by doing some work for the environment? You know what I mean? Or keeping the oceans clean. Like, I don't know. You don't have to do the brand of good that other people want you to do. You could just pick and choose whatever you like.
Mhm.
So there's
Mhm.
that.
So here's an example. So I found the quote I was looking for. Arfa Kanun Sherwani, who's a journalist at The Wire, said, for the Hindu community in India, this is a 9/11 moment. The way the global Muslim community condemned the violence in the name of their religion, it is time for Hindus to actively disassociate themselves from anti-Muslim violence being carried out in their name.
It's good if it comes as a recommendation, but not as a demand. You don't get to demand people. If Hindus choose to condemn it, then we're grateful for it. But you cannot condemn it if they don't, because they don't have to.
But what about people who are really speaking about this with a real sense of urgency, given how incredibly fast things are escalating
That's
in
why
India and
that's why we recommend it.
and the literal calls for genocide and the legitimate fears of genocide in India.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. So that's why it's a good recommendation. It's a good request. Okay, but not everybody is like, people are not responsible for fixing every L, especially if somebody thinks that they're responsible just for fixing that L just because of their association with it. You're not responsible for it. You're as responsible to fix that L as any other L, regardless of the community, of the label that you have been assigned to you by birth. You didn't choose that label, it was assigned to you by birth, for most people. So given that you had no choice in the label, you're also not responsible. You could pick that L to fix or any other L. And it's a good recommendation. It's a good request, but it shouldn't be a demand.
but they're saying, okay, that's a luxury because we're dealing with the heightened possibility of mass murder. Like,
Yeah,
what
but
you're
also,
saying sounds nice, but like that might be a luxury when we're trying to prevent an atrocity.
true. But that's the same case with other L's as well. I'm just saying, for example, why wouldn't you say that about climate change? That's also a major problem. I'm just saying, as a Hindu, okay, you're not more responsible for the other people doing hateful things in the name of Hinduism. You're not more responsible. You're as responsible for fixing that as climate change, as, I don't know, human rights violations in Yemen, as you're as responsible for. Look, those other ills are also very bad, and you're in the privilege of deciding to care about it or not. I just don't want to make you feel like you're more. There's a duty more to fix this ill just because of the label Hindu that has been assigned to you.
Okay, but even though that thing has been assigned to you, this thing is happening because of this intensified rhetoric about defending this identity that you happen to be born into. So it's done in your name, so to speak. And if you speak out against it and dissociate from it, try to take power away from it, that could prevent the most horrible
Right.
forms of this from actually materializing. But we need the majority to stand up and prevent that.
Everything you're
That's the
saying,
reasoning.
yes, everything you're saying goes to show that it's a good idea and it's a great recommendation, but it's not a must. That's what I'm confirming based on what you're saying, that it would be a good idea for you to do to help out, right? But it shouldn't be, and it shouldn't be seen as a responsibility. It should be seen as something that is welcomed, but it's not a responsibility. I want to address this comment. I don't know if it's true or not. By Oxymoron.
Oxymoron is saying Hindus for Human Rights is a baby of the Council of American Islamic Relations, or CARE.
Is it? Is this?
I haven't heard that. They don't even hide the connections. Jewish Voices for Peace is similar. Anti-Zionist group propped up by CARE.
Okay, I don't know if this is true, but I've seen, based on my experience, anybody who talks to anybody or the loosest amount of connection is good enough for people to say that you are part of them. Like, you know, based on the level of association that you need for people to be like, oh, you are with them and you're just working together or you're working under them, I could be accused of being a baby of CARE. You know what I mean? Like there's such loose degrees of separation that people point to. They'll be like, oh, you're with them. I'm like, okay, then I'm with almost everybody based on that definition of you're with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if this is true, but I've seen, based on what I've seen, I would be very skeptical. I'm not saying it's not true, by the way. Maybe it is true. I'm just highly skeptical.
Forever Stormy is saying Hindus should speak out for their own sake because these Hindufa nutcases are turning the clock back on the Hindu society. And, you know, people had kind of some pushback, Armin, to you. Like Blank Name is saying it's not a demand, but an obligation of a neighbor because we share a community.
Okay. There's no obligation. It's a good idea. Why is it an obligation?
As a contributing member of a pro-social society.
It's a good idea. It's a recommended. It would be nice if you do so. It's not an obligation. Why does it have to be an obligation? The things that should be obligations are for you not to do evil. Stopping other evil is not an obligation. It should be something that you encourage people to do.
And Secular Sakai is saying this isn't a public obligation or duty, but it is an optional obligation one can choose to embrace, and more people should.
Isn't optional and obligation contradictory? I'm not sure how obligation works. I think like optional obligation. I think that's
that is a little bit of an oxymoron.
Yeah. I think optional obligation is self-contradictory.
I didn't even notice that. And Arjun is saying, I'm smelling a slight leftism creeping back into Susanna. Well, I just wanted to throw a little, you know, I am inclined towards that, but I just want to not fully, because I still have a lot of problems with like the silence is violence rhetoric. But I just wanted to throw a little bit of that at Armin to see how he would respond. Beep Boop is saying Hindus for Human Rights is a newly created by left-leaning Hindus. They do have a political agenda. Sure, most groups have some form of political agenda.
Name drop. It's an oxymoron. That oxymoron is pointing that the username oxymoron is pointing
he's like
out.
Oh my gosh, you name drop me. And AGA just became a member. Thank you for becoming a member.
I think
AGA.
she was a member. I think what she did was she renewed it or upgraded. I'm not sure what she did.
Well, because we lost our membership, like when you come back.
No, she was already a member by the beginning of the day.
I had to refresh mine.
Okay.
You have to sign up as again. But AGA, please drop some emojis in the live chat for us to demonstrate your new member abilities. Yep. I don't know. I think Can I read a small excerpt of a piece written by this journalist, Rana Ayub? I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah, just 1 second. AJ is saying, deleting my other account. Please swap mod roles for me here. Thanks. You have to confirm it that this is actually you somewhere else to Susanna for us to do that, because
Yeah.
it would be easy. It would be easy for somebody to. Yeah.
The
Okay,
real
cool.
AGA knows how to contact me.
The real AJ knows. Yes. Okay.
So I don't know. So Rana Ayub is a highly controversial journalist in India. She comes from a Muslim background, and she has experienced. I'm pretty sure like a think tank or someone did the data work on this. She experienced one of the largest hate campaigns like in the history of Twitter. And so I disagree with her on a lot of things, but I think she's an incredibly gifted writer, and she has some interesting opinions, but she's extremely controversial. So this is something she wrote that I don't know, it just really stuck out to me. So this was written a few months ago. And it says, for the last 3 months, Muslims in Gurgaon have been threatened by a mob that refuses to let them offer their Friday prayers. Saffron-clad vigilantes can be seen in videos shared across the country where they threaten and heckle Muslim priests and locals. In one incident, a young Hindu man, Ashke Yadav, who I choose to believe is not an aberration, offered the premises of his business to Muslim for their prayers. In an interview with a news publication for Article 14, Yadav urged the media to not call him brave for doing the bare minimum as a member of the majority community. I choose to believe that Yadav is not an aberration, just as I choose to believe that the ordinary Indian Hindus are more concerned about the rising unemployment, inflation, starvation, and the safety and security of their children. I choose to believe that insecure Hindu vigilantes who seek pleasure in denying Muslims their fundamental rights are a small minority. I choose to believe that the India I was born and raised in, where my friends, my doctor, my therapist, my psychiatrist, the surgeon that performed a potentially deadly surgery that saved me from paralysis, my next door neighbor without whom my family's Eid festivities are incomplete, are the true Hindu majority. I believe, oh wait, then it's blah, blah, blah. I choose to believe that the silent Hindu is equally appalled when churches and priests are attacked. And I don't know. I really like that because
I don't like it. You can't choose to believe. You have to. Your beliefs have to match reality. You can't just choose to believe things that you won't like to be true.
no, but she's speaking towards like she's someone who does kind of talk about this rhetoric of the complicity of the majority, but it's about her own personal hope that
yeah. Okay, you can say I hope. You should say I hope. No, you should say I choose to believe. Okay, because you have to see like your belief has. I recommend that you don't choose to believe things that you hope to be true. I recommend you believe things that are actually you could verify that is actually true. So replace all those beliefs with hope instead of I choose to believe. That's not how beliefs supposed to work. I mean, it's better if it doesn't work like that. By the way, there's a lot of hate in the live chat for this woman.
To have a belief just to get yourself through what you're going through. The level of abuse she experiences is heinous. Like on a whole different level. That's partially why I have an affinity for her, because I've gone through the same thing.
There's a lot of hate in the live chat for her. Who is she again? What's her name again?
Like I said, she's a journalist. She writes opinion pieces for the Washington Post.
What's her name again? I'm gonna look
Rana Ayub. And she I don't know, it's kind of ironic that Hindupa has had all these systematic campaigns against her because they've made her partially contributed to her being a famous journalist.
Okay.
For being so openly critical of India. Like, yeah, she is fiercely hated and abused on a level that I can't even put into words.
Okay. Okay. So there's mixed opinions about her in the live chat. Some people seem to like her. Some people seem to hate her.
I disagree with her and her opinions on Islam in a lot of ways, but I think she's very gifted as a writer, even though sometimes I even think she's being a little like hyperbolic or exaggerating things. Yeah, but just reading her work is like really good.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So We're gonna put this here. So do we have the last news, right?
Yes. Wait 1 second. Yes. I need to. I forgot that I had to pull up my screen. I'm sorry.
Oh wait, you can't pull up your screen. Don't pull up your screen actually, because you're gonna get roboty. Maybe send it to on my show. Oh yeah, I can't show this. So you're gonna get roboty.
Yeah,
There's no
wait,
way
give
of
me a
waiting.
second.
Maybe you could just show it on your phone instead. Yeah, show it on your phone. You could show it on your phone instead of your computer.
This is gonna drive me crazy. Wait, let me try it over here. I'm sorry, guys.
Well, you're not gonna be able to show it. Anyways, it's okay.
Wait, I have an idea. I have an idea. I'm sorry.
Oh, PK lost his membership. I'm sorry. It's okay. It's okay, PK. Why did you how it's okay. We still love you. Always clap for the last news. I'm just gonna read some new comments while you're getting. Okay, Arjun is saying, Susanna, please buy a new computer.
I know.
Yeah. That's what we should use the donation monies for.
No, we can't do that. I wouldn't be okay with that. Here we go. Finally.
Great.
Next news. Atheist Republic approved for Facebook donations. So, guys, exciting news. Armin and I have been doing a lot of work in a variety of ways to work on the financial viability of the Atheist Republic. And one of these includes, really working on maximizing the ways that people can contribute to our work, should they feel so inclined. And this now means that you can donate to Atheist Republic officially through Facebook. If you go to our Facebook page, you will see this blue donate button, like right above where you would typically create a post. This is also available on the mobile phone. And this means that Facebook will cover all of the transaction fees of when people give to us. You can also, really share with your friends in your social network that you just made a donation. There was another point I wanted to make. This is very good news.
Yeah, so guys, this is something that they only allow for 501c's. So in the US, so this is why we need to make sure that we save the Facebook page, because this is going to probably really help us with our fundraising campaigns, especially on Instagram. Once we figure out how to add this donation button on Instagram as well, because our Instagram is very, very active, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we should be able to get a lot more donations on Instagram because of being able to add donation buttons to stories as well. We have like thousands. Like, how many followers do we have on Instagram? Like on Facebook, it's 2 million.
It's the biggest atheist-related Instagram on the platform. It's almost 140,000.
Yeah, and it's very, very active.
More?
So if we manage to add, because now we're approved by Facebook as for fundraising, but guys, this is huge because we're a 501c, Facebook doesn't take any cut, and covers it's not just that they cover the transaction fee. Like, for example, super chats and like PayPal, everybody takes a cut. This one, 100% of the money reaches Atheist Republic. Not a cent is going to be removed, which is very powerful. So if we finally figure out, right now, for some reason the option is not showing up for us on Instagram, but it should be, because Instagram is part with Facebook, right? But once we've managed to get a hold of somebody and fix this error, then on our stories we should be able to add the donation button, and that will hopefully be able to really increase our fundraising campaigns. And then maybe we could afford like a computer for Susanna, so we don't get hanging all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is this process on Facebook also makes it a lot easier for people to start their own fundraising campaigns for
Fundraising,
us
yeah,
on
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Facebook. So if you want to start like maybe a fundraiser on your birthday, or just want to start a fundraiser to help pull together funds for our organization in general, you can. It's very easy to do that now that we have everything registered and approved.
Yeah.
So I'm very
So
excited.
yeah, so actually you could start fundraisers on YouTube now that we have been approved on YouTube and on Facebook. So that's really good. So you don't like, yeah, you could, when you start you could go to the fundraiser section on Facebook, you could start a fundraiser, and then when you start a fundraiser, you could search for the nonprofit, and if you search for Atheist Republic, we will show up. And then whatever you make from the fundraiser goes to Atheist Republic, all of it. So that's a very powerful way for you to, without like, if you can't afford to donate to us, you could do that, and that will help Atheist Republic as well, without you spending any money. You're just encouraging other people to do so. So if you want to, obviously, no obligation, like we mentioned, right? And also, just another reminder, not to donate a single cent to Atheist Republic
Yes.
ever if you're suffering financially. Please, please. I know some people did, and that's a mistake. Okay, you have to take care of yourself financially before before donating to anything. Okay, you could still support us by just liking the video. That doesn't cost you anything, and that really helps our channel grow. So just do that if you really want to support, and yeah, don't donate money. Okay, if you're struggling.
Very, very good.
Okay, so hold on, let me see. This is funny. Secular Sakai is saying, I'm going to start a separate donation fund to get Susanna a new computer. To get Susanna a new computer. Forever Stormy, you mentioned this a couple of times. You just said she needs some new hardware parts. The problem is that she has a laptop. She doesn't have. This is
No,
guys.
Armin, I've told you so many times that's not the computer that I use. I have a way that I can fix the computer that I use. It just takes some effort and time that I need to make.
Okay.
But I'm going to do it before June.
Good. Okay, fantastic.
I'm actually maybe going to do it on Monday. So let us pray.
Okay. Okay.
That's the end of the news this week. Armin, what did you think of the news topics this week? Some weeks I'm like, the stories are all like horrific, and some weeks I'm like, this just seems maybe like kind of another iteration of like an issue we talk about often. But this week, I don't know, I found a lot of the stories, like I felt like there was more variety and more like juicier, broader themes and topics that we could dive into.
Yeah, I like it. I like your decisions. PK saying, I'm poor, but my parents are rich as F. Should I donate? Yes.
No, take care of yourself.
Wait. Well, first, take as much money as from your parents as you can to take, so that you're not poor. And after that, once you cover yourself, then maybe consider donating. But first, like, given that you're poor, first fix your own situation first. But make sure you take all their money.
Get over that news story about Imran Khan and the blasphemy, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, these Pakistani politics have me like eating popcorn. I'm like, oh my god.
Secular Rarity saying, great job, a whole bunch of really good analysis and choices of stories. Thank you guys. That is worth a like for sure. Okay, so don't leave without liking the video. Thank you so much for the comment. And also, other ways you could support us without spending a cent is to leave a comment after the video is over, and also sharing the video. That really helps as well. And yeah,
I had a lot of fun today.
Yeah, me too. All right, guys, this was fun. And we're going to have another Hinduism related stream coming soon. Remember, I'm doing more Hinduism related streams. I did a review of Hindu scripture. I'm going to, after I review it, I read your comments under the video to just see if you agreed or disagreed. But another one coming up next week. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. So cool.
I like those a lot too.
If you
I
like
really
that,
like
make sure you're
Hinduism too.
subscribed and hit the notification bell on YouTube to be able to see the future Hinduism scripture related analysis. That's going to be not on our Facebook page, on Atheist Republic Facebook page. It's going to be on our YouTube channel. So if you're watching us on Facebook, make sure you hop over on YouTube and make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification. All right, guys, we're going to head out. Thank you and bye.
Bye.
Bye.